I am muted. Ah! I clicked every button except that one. Every button except that one. I missed it. No, I was talking to someone else. Yeah, I still getting things set up. That's what it was, Bombs. I was very professionally talking to my sleeping cat. And, yeah, that's what it was. Anyway. It's fine. I've been following up a lot of details. I'm going to turn that down. That is a bit loud. Their music is always so loud at the start, I swear. Let's see. You interact. Volume down. Right. What's the song? It's whatever Warframe's playing. It's their own custom music. There we are. That should turn that down a bit. Ah. Was your cat? It's so cute. Yeah, if I had just been natural with my cat, I suppose that would have been a bit cute, wouldn't it? But alas, that was not the case. I was just bad at streaming. I acknowledge it. I acknowledge it. Love the video with the tips today. I'm glad you liked that, Manta. I'm glad you liked it. Ah. Those tip videos, I've realised that it's been a long time since I've done myth busting, tip stuff or whatnot. It's been surprisingly a while now. That's partly because I don't really like repeating the same information over and over. As much as we've got a constant cycle of players, the idea is that those videos sit there and continue to be useful. Thanks, Mirrorlade. I don't want to be the person who just puts out the same video over and over every 12 months. That just... it feels so wrong to do that kind of thing, so I just don't. But it means it takes a while to gather yet more tips worth talking about. Fun fact. Certainly enough quantity to matter. Oi, Twitch, what are you doing? Oi, get that overlay off, thank you. Stupid thing. Anyway, really, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs going out to Betsigo, to FeelUXOO, I guess, to But the Dog, to I Can't Hear the Internet. Well, that's a problem. Yeah, and to Inwarf, I think. I'm really struggling with usernames today, but all the same, Mirai, thank you very much for gifting 5 subs over to those lovely people right there. Cheers. Like we're saying, pass on the knowledge of veterans, so not everyone needs to learn these tricks on their own is wholesome. I mean, it's what I do. I teach in almost every single video I put out. It just so happens that this was a video where each of those tips individually did not need its own video, and I do not make YouTube shorts. I could have split that video up into, say, maybe 10 YouTube shorts. I think some of the sections were more than a minute long, so that already is a problem. Second shorts is vertical, but Warframe's horizontal. Doesn't work either. Thirdly, shorts. Not to mention, with the way that revenue works, it would also be worse for me revenue-wise. Even if I just cut the video up into 10 bits, slapped them up as shorts like that, no extra effort involved, it would still actually be worse for me and my channel on a view-for-view basis. There is a theory that it would generate more views, but also there's a theory it would generate less views because it's all just scattered. So quite frankly, just viewing experience bad, editing experience bad, revenue experience bad. What's good about it? Shorts is not made for someone like me. I am far too millennial for shorts. That's why I wear trousers. There you are. I have looked at shorts, and I have made shorts. Those are on the channel. You can check those out as well. But they're not the right fit. Not for what I do. Anyway, it has been a bit of a busy day today, doing all kinds of bits and pieces behind the scenes, and with where things are at, I'm expecting more busy days that pull me away from making videos at the same time, so we'll just kind of see how that all comes together. But nothing I can share at this point in time. Hello, Clyde. 1 AM for you? Well, that is a very late time to be up at. I say myself. But for most people, that's a late time to be up at. But hey, welcome on in. If you're awake and happy to be awake, welcome on in. Alright, seconds to go now. Seconds to go until we have The Devstream details. Wow, yeah, Zom, that is a ruined sleep schedule. I thought mine was bad. Yikes. Yeah, let's not start the sleep schedule Olympics here, because there ain't no gold medals to hand out. Absolutely not do that. And just as this gets going, I've realised I didn't set up the what shall we be do poll. So let me set this up into the last moments of starting goes. Here we are. Yo, Kaizel, thank you very much.
What?
What? Is that...
Right, let's turn them back up because now this bit's quieter.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Did you know that Warframe's official soundtrack, Protea Prime, is on Spotify on your local app? And
just search Matt Chalmers and you'll get yourself some music. Hi everyone! Welcome to Devstream 180.
Coming
It's free. It's free. Well, wait, no,
enough.
Spotify's not free.
I have no idea.
I don't know anymore.
There's a free version.
I don't know anymore. Yeah, 30-second clip.
Yeah.
you can get your free trial today if you just register at spotify.com/Warframe free trial.
/Warframe free trial. Don't do that.
Don't do that. It's a lie.
No.
Welcome to Devstream
No.
180. We are so glad
turns out I
you're
can't do the
here.
poll
This is
for more than 10
our
minutes,
last
so
Devstream
we'll cover that later.
Before we
I don't like this
have
announcement.
TennoCon
Don't say it. I don't like this
2024.
Oh, my old heart.
Before we go on our little hiatus, we focus on some things.
Why didn't we get a uniform for this?
Well,
Why didn't
okay.
This is
Pablo
It took some
decided.
planning. It took some planning.
I was blindsided by this, but
Rather.
Megan have matching shirts. Pablo brought me a shirt because Law and Order is the best.
And what does it say in the shirt? Best boss?
World's best boss.
World's best boss. Wow.
Aww.
You got the Law and Order.
I got the Law and Order
reference there?
shirt.
Hello,
but
Moon.
I had other options, but
Okay.
I wanted Dick Wolf's. You
Okay.
Know?
All
So you're
right.
in.
Oh,
Beyond
I see.
Journey's
Wow,
End. Watch
okay.
it now
Don't-
on
don't clip that.
crunchyroll.com/Warframe.
All right, welcome to the
Just free
show,
trialing
everyone.
everything
We're gonna
now.
get right into it because we don't need to be sitting here for 2 hours as we normally do.
Oh,
Is that the
okay.
plan?
No, it's not the plan. Go, 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 go. First, let's start off with some introductions to this stream. We're going to start with you, sir.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Steve. Thanks for
Hey,
tuning
Steve.
in.
I'm Megan, community director.
I'm
Megan.
Dick Wolf.
And I'm Pablo, the scientist.
Wait for that to get
And
updated.
we are here to talk a lot about Warframe. We're going to jump into Jade Shadows, which is our next update coming
Oh,
in June.
so exciting. Stalker
Lots
Quest.
to show. We're going to finally show Jade's abilities,
Ooh.
Ascension game mode.
Ooh, Ascension.
We have a lot to show, and
right.
we have some TennoCon announcements and some Soulframe announcements, perhaps.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
Do a little bit of
Little
everything.
guy.
Good, good.
Oh, en français.
Oh, I had a very. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay, never mind.
You can get a Twitch drop for watching. You can get
Exactly,
an
Jeff.
Umbra Forma Blueprint, 30-minute watch time, claim for 1 minute.
Specifically
Get your Umbra Forma,
only
and
on
then,
the
of
main
course,
channel,
after the
just
stream,
FYI everyone.
starting at
Only on the
3
main
p.m. Central
channel.
Time, we have our gift of the
Unfortunately, I
Lotus
know.
Swords, a Riven Cipher, and a Pistol Riven mod.
Oh, get the mod. Use the cipher.
If you hate the challenge, use the Cipher.
I love it.
Seems
It all
pretty
works out.
sensible.
All right, a little bit more housekeeping before we jump into everything Jade Shadows. We have kicked off our Pride campaign for 2024.
Yes,
Look
indeed.
at Citrine.
Awesome.
She's
Such good
gorgeous.
art.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Always gotta love some rainbows.
We are supporting Rainbow Railroad and Trans Lifeline this year. Shout out
Always
to
gotta love
Danny
that.
and the crew for this incredible campaign. They worked really hard
Also,
to
that
get
Trans
all the really
Lifeline
awesome
logo
stuff, which
is
we have
a
an image
really
of,
good design.
which includes, we have a new glyph made by Nimki Arts, a new display. You can go, hide us.
Hey.
Hide us.
Oh, there we go.
Hide
A
us,
new
yeah, I can
display
hide me.
by Robo Mythos and the new Neon Pride Wings. If you're familiar
Looks
with the
good.
pink version,
got it.
Ticker Store, we've turned them Pride version. So these are all available to you.
Do you have to be
It's
actively
all
watching the main
month long. Our
stream,
prime
or
times
will
are
it be in the
gonna
background
Pride
while watching the
time,
stream
where
work?
it's gonna be celebrating love
It
because
breaks
we
sometimes
love
even just
love.
watching the main
And
stream,
DE has
Gorilla, so
donated
keep an eye on it if you're doing two tabs.
$10,000,
Keep an
both
eye.
Trans Lifeline and Rainbow Railroad.
I just refresh
to
the
help with their
Warframe main
incredible
stream like every
initiative.
15
So
minutes.
Thank you so much for everyone
Maybe
that
every
continues
10.
to support Warframe's Pride campaigns over the
Yeah.
years. Very happy to be running it back bigger and better than ever. And shout out to the team that put this all together, devs, community side, socials, everyone. You guys are crushing it.
Yep, that's
So
awesome.
thank you so much. And then a little bit of in-game
Good idea,
housekeeping
Fantica. Yeah,
stuff.
2
Our
browser
Dojo
types
Star
is a good
Charts
shout.
contests are changing a little bit because we are
Oh.
living in a cross-save world. So we are
Okay.
kicking off our final kind of this era of dojo contests, which, as you know, we do them seasonally. And we're doing a massive all-star dojo contest to end this era, where on PC you're going to have 8 all-star dojos
my
to
God.
check out. Ronnie
That's
has a
a lot
full
of
forum
dojos.
post up in the forums all about this. You can learn all about these dojos, and we're going to be moving into a cross-save, cross-play dojo universe.
Oh, nice. So instead of 4 separate things, you're going
I'm
to
still
have
surprised
one.
how long
can
it
go
took me to
into-
notice
on
that
PC,
the
I can
number
load
of
into a
The
PlayStation.
tech
spots or
community loves that.
lights,
That's
as it
right,
were,
that's right.
on
So that'll be
the
coming this year. Stay tuned
the dojo
on that.
symbol indicated
And
how
let's do a platinum
what
prize before
tier
we
is
jump
that.
into Jade Shadow.
Like 4 dots means
And
tier 4 clan.
It's going to
Those
be
dojo competitions
The
always blow my
size.
mind.
It's
Sometimes I'm like,
insane.
what game is this?
Yes!
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
didn't
not
know we had
workable.
the assets.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they make those things. It's so incredible.
that's an easy
So
name.
creative.
Jeff, what do we got?
Hansa.
I need to
Hunsa.
move.
Please
There we are.
whisper the
Hunsa,
Warframe
well
Twitch
done.
chat watch right now. In-game alias,
Whoever
Pop
Hunsa
Warframe
is.
Warframe. We need both that information.
Hunsa's
We'll get you
Hunsa.
your 1,000 platinum. All right, my friends.
Again, those
It's
won't
time
be
for
drawn
Jade
from
Shadows.
this channel.
It is time.
specifically
Well,
Warframe
to
made.
talk
We are
about it, yes.
co-streaming,
But
we're not part
before
of
we
their
do,
stream.
We have a little teaser trailer.
Oh, we're just
Going to jump into it, and then we'll talk about it. So, Rue, play the clip.
Okay.
Okay. Ah. Edgy boy sleeps like a bat?
Play it again.
Alright then, that was
June
very
18th,
teasery teaser.
Jade Shadows is coming to all platforms. Hey!
So that's the release
Nice.
date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really,
So
that date can't be right.
I know.
Got a couple weeks. And we've obviously talked a little bit about Jade Shadows on the last Devstream at a very kind of broad surface
It did
level,
feel its
and
own,
we're
yes.
ready to dive in and talk and show you a lot more. I do have a slide that, thank you, Rue.
whoa.
This
That's
is
a lot of
very
detail.
reminiscent of what we showed you on Devstream 179.
Hello.
We'll talk about the new quest, Jade Shadows, the prerequisites that you need to play Jade Shadows, and of course Jade herself, her 3 incredible weapons, which we will show in game as well. She's got her Signa, the Ascension game mode, which leads into our clan operation Belly of the Beast. Of course, the Durelli Deluxe
Okay.
collection,
Variety
which
of
we'll
its
finally
pieces.
show you in game, which is very exciting. We have Tenogen coming, Augments Arcanes.
Put
We're
me
going to
back in
talk
my
all
usual
about
spot.
this coming up right now.
Talks a little bit of text, but it's not the end
Right.
of the world.
Jade Shadows quest, tell me about it.
I think the top level, what you need to know is this is going to follow the new war. So if you want to play what you just saw and try and figure out what's going
All right.
on, you will need
Post
to have
New
the
War,
new
yep.
war complete. The new war is, the major quest we released in 2021. We have continued some storylines after
Sorry,
it.
how
We
long
gave
ago?
Paul his moment of post New War world with Veilbreaker. We gave the Tenno theirs with Angels of the Zeramin and Whispers in the Wall and so on. But the one character that we really have always wanted to come back to since the new war
Yeah.
was
Definitely.
the Stalker. So this is the natural post-new war point for the Stalker. So you got to have that quest.
I mean, it makes
finished, and
sense.
then you
Yeah,
can jump
they
right
were
into
a
this
significant
quest.
part of it.
It's our first Warframe cinematic quest since we realized today, since Call of the Tempestari. So it's been a while since we've done one, and we're really excited about it. So we hope that you are looking forward to playing it after you are ready. Your account has to be ready. Get to the new war, finish it. And I think
Most people
we don't
here
want to
are
spoil
there.
anything, so we're not going to. But because we're not spoiling, when you play it, the only thing we ask is that you don't spoil stuff. Like, there's very much going to be like a courtesy.
I think they've built some cred that they're
I
pretty good at that.
100% agree. Like, you don't need us to tell you
Yeah.
that, but use spoiler tags. when
People
you're-
get really excited and want
Yeah,
to
it's
talk
great.
about it,
I
which
love
is just
So
we love
as
it.
and when that comes out,
Just
there will
spoiler
be
text,
spoiler
that is all.
enforcement
That
on
is
the
all.
Discord as well.
And,
Then yeah.
there will, yeah, that's all. I think that's all there is to say. In the,
So you're not going to be spoiling it in the stream either.
no, I
Okay.
don't think so.
Okay. All right.
But
good.
accidents
Alright.
happen.
Not on purpose, anyway.
Can you imagine after that lecture? You spoil it.
I feel like it's meant to be now.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I'm
but
getting
yeah.
nervous here.
No.
It's a common theme. So like,
Well, it's a
try
busy
and
release. I
hold
think a
back
lot
the
of
story
people
bits for a
also are excited to play other things in the gaming universe, but
Yeah.
this is coming out before that, and they'll have a
We have-
chance to jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned last Devstream that kind of the runtime for it is
25 minutes. You know, it's like a longer anime episode. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
each scene and everything.
Episode. Yep.
It's an episode, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yep. And then it comes with cool clan
So
events.
not quite
Yes.
half-hour
Yes.
quest.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
that's-
get into all
Yeah,
that.
no, that's actually a really good point. I don't know
Yep.
when you want to talk about Operation Belly of the Beast.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
But you
let's
can't
move me
play
a little bit
that
further.
quest
I think I was
until
more
wait, you can't play that
there,
event
wasn't I?
until
Yeah.
you've
No,
done the
was it?
quest. So it's
That's
all
right.
sequential.
That's
Cool.
right.
There.
But we'll get
And
into
this will be on the test.
That should be fine
Take
there.
notes. All right, Jade herself, Pablo. Let's talk
Jade
about
herself.
her. Let's talk about her.
I'll let Paz Pablo talk about it.
All right.
No, past Pablo's trouble.
We-
I don't like this.
Although we're blessed with Pablo's real life presence,
Did you make a video?
I made a video.
Pablo made a video.
What you can do is
Live
like, get up
Pablo
next
has a
to
Pablo
them, pretend
video.
like
Okay.
They're the same shirt, you know?
Let me walk over to the
This
shirts.
is completely unprompted.
Pablo's gonna go to the PC and
I
play
mean, if people
Jade
want to
Get-
play
With a costume change
new
in
quests, they
between.
kind
Pablo
of
had
should be
blessed
making
us
their way
with
through the old
a
ones already,
past
Mantis.
Pablo
Yeah.
talking about Jade and showing her abilities. So let's roll the clip and enjoy.
All right.
Maybe.
Oh.
Let's
Clip.
Pause, chat.
pause, Chip.
Pablo, get over to your computer.
Pablo, run.
Here we go.
Pablo,
That's
get
all
over to your
right.
computer.
I see that
Wait for
Prochi
the
has
platter
frozen
to
this one in
spin
time.
up.
No one's maybe this is like a bit.
Maybe this is all related.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
I'm here to show you Jade, our latest Warframe, and what she is all about. There she
Okay.
is, look at her. So what she's about, she's a support frame. She has protection for allies. She has debuffs against enemies, and then she packs a
up.
punch with her fourth. So let's start with her passive. Her passive has two parts. The first part, I'm probably going to show an image somewhere around here, is that she has two mod slots that are dedicated to auras. So
Oh.
basically you can put any two auras that you want. You can just
Okay.
throw them in there. Both of them increase the capacity, so obviously she's kind of easier to build.
Double
because of
aura,
that.
double capacity.
Wow.
Wow.
They affect all allies and enemies just like any aura would. The other part of her passive
Oh,
is that her
okay.
1 and her 4
skipped for a moment.
apply a debuff to enemies they hit. Her first ability creates this zone over here, and as you can see, that's where that is. And while I'm inside the zone, you can see in the upper right, I have that little indicator there. That means that I'm taking healing over time as long as I'm inside. And when I leave, you can see it now goes from infinite duration to a set duration, similar to how it works with Wisp and her
I was
modes.
about to say,
Obviously,
yeah.
while you're in the area, they last forever. Once you get out, it changes. You can have up to 3 of these zones. And for enemies, when you
Okay.
throw it to them, basically it'll deal damage over time, and it will mark them with your passive, which is what I was talking about earlier, which basically increases how much damage they take from all sources. For
Okay.
her second ability, she has 3 different auras that you can select from. So if I activate it here, you can see I get squad shield effectiveness, and you can see
Very
my
musical.
overshields are growing until they reach the cap. Now, if I can switch my aura without having to recast, so it costs me no energy. So I just switch to this one, which this increases my ability strength. And as you can see, I actually kept the overshield, so you can actually do some
Okay, so you can live switch
things
between
there.
bonuses.
Also, you can do the same with this power strength one, because you can, for example, right now you could cast her 3 or her 4th or her 1, which will snapshot the power strength that she has right now, and then after that you could switch to the other aura, which is weapon damage increase for the squad. So you are kind of incentivized to swap around the auras as you need them. Again, it costs you no energy to swap the aura. It's just the initial cast that costs you.
I do like
For her
that. So
third
you can
ability,
switch to
any
buffs, but
enemy
you
that's
don't
on her
pay
side,
to switch.
gets slowed down and gets their armor removed. So you can see these guys now are moving quite slowly, and their armor is now gone. And they're basically
Okay, so armor
at the
drain over
mercy
time.
of my gaze. For the ally part of this ability, we have this. You can see Mark is over there. He died. He's one of the designers working on Jade. And I can just use my third ability, and I can revive him at a distance just by looking at him.
Okay,
Very,
distant
very
revive.
powerful
That's
set. And
nice to
finally,
have built in.
She takes flight. As you can see, she moves kind of similar to Hildren, but way faster. She can move around quite a bit. This is actually an
Hildren
exalted
main's
weapon,
dying.
so you can just shoot enemies with it. As you can see, does quite a bit of damage. Or you can mark them with your 1, and then you can use your outfire to detonate them for.
Oh yeah,
ludicrous
Huldra
amounts of
Main's
damage.
just dead now.
So yeah, as you can see, with her 4, she does pack quite a bit of punch. So that's it for Jade.
Hildra
Recap,
Mains are
her passive has
crying
2
seeing
parts.
that one.
One is she has 2 aura mod slots, 2 is her 1 and her 4th apply a debuff to enemies, makes them take extra damage. Then her first ability is a large zone that she can create that deals damage over time and applies that passive to either enemies or allies. Her second ability has 3 different auras that you can cycle through. One is power strength, the other is weapon damage, the other is boosted shields. The third ability is anything.
I like that
you
she's
look
got a
at
good
gets
array
slowed
of
down,
support options,
armor
not just
stripped,
one
shield
thing.
stripped, and if there's a falling ally, you can revive them just by looking at them. And finally, her 4th, you take flight. You do a ton of damage with your exalted weapon, and with your outfire, you can detonate any enemies that are already marked by your passive. And that's it. I hope you're excited to try her out. I'm excited to get her in your hands very soon. Back to the couch with the Devstream peeps.
Let's turn that volume back down to where it was.
Wow, the bottom
There we are. It should balance out for everyone.
Just to call attention, that was your fashion frame. That was an ephemera from the Sisters of Parvos and her Signa and stuff. But you know how it is. I just saw some people asking questions about the fashion. So.
That was my fashion, but you'll all be able to acquire my
Yeah.
fashion. With something
Hold on now. Hold on. Alright,
Details.
Is there anything else you want to add to that, or is
Double
Pablo?
aura.
Yeah,
vibe
double
with-
aura. Double aura
with just
is
staring at them.
The gaze.
The double aura slot is so.
The 4 is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of interesting comments in chat.
Yeah.
It's very creative.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So it'll be
Great work
interesting
to
to
the team
see
that has
how
brought
that all
together.
works out.
It
Yeah.
has
Very,
been
very cool.
incredible to watch that come together.
Yeah, for nerdy min-maxer, the combos you can do with her too, if you're like switching around and stuff, are really nice. So.
There's no nerdy min-max. Wrong audience. They don't exist.
And to answer your helmet question, her 3rd, which is the gaze, is her helmet subsume ability.
Except the revive is the part that gets excluded out.
Yeah.
What? I can't just walk around and stare at people and keep them alive?
Why take out? Okay,
it.
fair enough. Fair
He
enough. You
ruined
can't
Jade
subsume
before
on
lunch.
ranged revive.
All right, so there she is.
That's the
Jade
bit that
in all
needed
her
removing?
glory. And then, of course, she does come, as we mentioned, the Signa, which you so lovingly showed off. So thank you for that. She does have an alternate helmet. Oh, and then her ensemble buff with her weapons. You kind of talked about it last time.
So she has 3 weapons. So essentially, I don't know how much details I'm going to go into them because we were literally doing some changes on those very recently. So I'm not like super.
I mean, if they're making changes, I'd rather they just don't announce details.
Essentially, the gist is if she has all 3, you get a buff of some sort.
If you, cause basically when you have the weapons, they all have a special thing that they can do, and then if you do said thing, you give a buff to your squad, which if you have all 3 is better.
When you do the 2 mods, do you get the aura capacity as well?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
Who cooked?
Yeah. Cooking.
So good.
I mean, Ductile, they are
yeah, but
avoiding
yeah,
any
she does come
story
with reasons
spoilers,
for
so it's
weapons, so
mostly mechanic stuff they're
What?
showing. Mechanics in Chinese.
What?
Okay, so
Surprise with
That's
makeup.
not even.
But yeah, if you want to avoid all details,
not-
this ain't the stream
hold
to be in.
on. No, I'm not there yet.
yeah, so before we
I'm just caught off guard.
I'm not there yet.
okay, so before we jump, I don't
Megan
know
in
where you're
good
going
fashion?
next.
I don't know what to say.
Just to recap, we have so Jade Shadows launches June 18th. It's a cinematic quest featuring Stalker, Jade, and she's coming as a Warframe you can get. And that was her.
And then, sorry, Rue, I'm switching it up.
That's right,
What
Pithy,
gameplay
yeah. So
did
with
you mention?
2
We did show-
auras in, 2 standard 7 drain auras, you'll get
It's
14
default
capacity
fashion.
from each, so it's
Default.
28 added
Oh
on.
my god. All right, there we go.
That's good.
That's
what I get. That's what I get.
Skipped through your rainy colours for a moment there, and onto almost
Said anything.
That's where we stopped.
Sorry.
almost onto Fairy
So
Grand.
last stream we did show the Canter, which are the throwing knives. So that is one of Jade's weapons. The Harmony.
All right.
The big scythe.
Ignore the descriptions you're seeing there because we're
PH.
changing quite a bit of it.
Yeah, PH.
Actually, that one's wrong.
PH is
PH means
PH.
don't look.
I mean, this is going to be a test for any content creators that use those as gospel. We're going to know you didn't watch the Devstream. We're going to know.
Yeah.
We're going to know.
And then we showed you the concept art, but now we can show you in game. The Evans song is her dread.
What you should just be looking at here is the
Don't look at the
visual
Yeah, don't
appearances.
look at the PH.
Don't look at the PH.
So she's got to try.
All stats are blur.
Three weapons.
Can be editing later.
Incredible.
All right, we have Jade, we have her abilities, we have her weapons, cosmetics, beautiful.
All right. Also, yeah, good catch there. The Ips had color
Such game mode.
icons.
There is a new game mode
All
coming.
right.
I think just the general concept we wanted to do with this game mode was what if Warframe had a vertical game mode?
What if Warframe but up?
What if Warframe but up?
I hope they don't be
I was gonna say,
vertical
what if you trap
gameplay,
the
A
like
lot
elevator?
harder to do.
dimensions.
It's way harder
Yeah.
than we expected.
On paper, we're like, easy. Warframe but up. Oh, how wrong we were, fellas.
Probably the hardest game mode we've made so far.
Yeah. So here's some gameplay. Oh, with a little tease of,
Don't look
of a
at it.
certain deluxe skin. But it's
Okay,
Ascension
but are you
is the
ready?
game mode, and this will be unlocked once you have finished the Jade Shadows quest. This is also where the clan event is going to take place, and it's basically giving you a little bit of a ramp-up period to kill some corpus that are kind of breaking in on someone's turf. You're going to have to make sure that they're not going to destroy a certain item. And then an elevator is going to await you. So you and your team are
Okay.
going to want to effectively kill everything as fast as you can so they don't slow down your mission progress. So then you are ready to ascend on the Ascension game mode. The elevator awaits.
Only way to go is up.
The epic.
So,
Whoa.
Oh,
oh no, goodness sake!
Did the
Come
video
on.
Is the video buffering?
Oh no!
well, I
So-
guess
Too
we'll show you
vertical.
next time.
Better odds when we run the game live.
They said vertical was difficult.
Okay, looks like you're gonna have to. Okay.
Oh, he,
It's replaying.
Yeah. So
can you fast forward?
no.
Oh, no. why
Okay,
you do
let's
this?
pretend that. What would be some cool things to talk about here in the meantime?
We could talk about the.
So did
Can we talk about why this UAD is not using Marlena?
as well?
Yes.
We were
Is it
literally
about that?
just there.
Is it like
Done.
coming off a server?
Yeah, we're not trying to-
Can we copy this?
We're not trying to get you ready to go up.
Okay,
and
I want
then-
to see if it works second time.
Okay. Is it an asset?
What's our
pro-
reproduction rate?
We can just role play it.
yeah.
I'll be the elevator.
Oh, I have to throw motes at you.
Yeah, throw shit at me.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Uh,
Okay.
your rally moment? No!
Oh
Obviously, the upload got interrupted.
Okay,
picture
well,
this. Here's
something
the
broke
theater
there.
of the mind.
Something
There's
broke.
this giant elevator that needs
Might be
energy
tired.
to
You
go
maybe
up.
in deluxe.
So you have
Could be that.
feeding
Still,
it
could be that. It
bionic
could be
charges, so you rise
work in
out of the
progress.
depths. And as you're feeding, the corpus are there, and you're like, oh god! And then you have to like jump around. But if you fall off the elevator, you better hope you're good at parkour and that you can read the level to get back up and back up and back up. And then
Right.
you have to make it to the top. But that's not all. Once you get to the top of the elevator, you gotta escape. You gotta make a run for it before the corpus holds you back. And that's Ascension.
Damn.
That's a great description.
So is Ascension
We can get
a
a video while we show
a
everything
non-endless
else.
mode by the sound of it?
He's
Though.
And
working
then
on
we
it.
can kind of circle back at the end.
In the meantime,
Defend console, go up.
Did not sound like a Law
Escape.
and Order episode,
No, it
but
didn't.
you know, pretty good.
In the
Well told.
meantime, Belly of the Beast
Oh yes.
version of that.
Okay, so everything I just said, but with Jade Eximus.
Right.
So there's a brand new Eximus type. It is emerged.
New Eximus.
The Jade Eximus will
cool.
be hunting you in Ascension, and you have to do everything you can to escape while you just have plenty of
Okay.
Jade Eximus on your trail. That video would have shown you them.
It would.
It would. Okay,
minute,
Rue's got it
anytime.
in a minute. So now we have Belly of
The double
Beast. I don't know.
tease.
Do you want to just go to gameplay?
Yeah, sorry, Rue. I know you're.
So, yeah.
You want
so
Grendel bowling
one of the
minigame?
big
I wanna
things
see
about
official
Operation
Warframe gold
Belly of
first.
the Beast,
What's this?
is yeah, go there.
I'm showing we're so close to having it.
Ordis has made.
Look at him, he's so cute.
Yeah, he's so tiny and cute. You will
a big
find
room
Ordis
for a little
in
Ordis.
Runda Relay after the event.
Quest, right?
Yeah, so after the quest,
Yep.
Jade Shadows
Yep.
and Ordis has taken up spot in Larunda Relay, and he wants you to help him. He is there waiting for you as you play the clan operation game mode. You're going to get some resources that you can contribute to Ordis for a personal goal and for a community
Or
goal.
just found a job.
Ordis. Yeah.
He's branching out.
Ordis finally
Yeah.
gets to go on
Yeah.
missions.
Relay Ordis is here for the duration of Operation Belly of the Beast, and you'll be able to do all
Okay.
event things by talking to him. So you'll be playing Ascension and then coming to Larunda to talk to Ordis. So why don't we take a look at what he has on offer?
He's got a
Okay.
few things. Don't look at the pH.
Don't look at the PHs. So we are bringing back
Skip
the
the PH.
Creo Signa from Gargoyle's Cry. So if you missed it in that operation earlier this year,
Ew,
you'll be able
another
to get it
chance at
again.
that.
And we're bringing a series of evolving ephemeras.
These are incorrect icons. I can show you them in the arsenal.
Yeah, so what I'll tell you is as the community
lot of
reaches the
placeholder, yep.
goals for this clan operation, you'll be able to unlock the next tier of ephemera as a community goal. So you have the starter one, and then if you say
Okay.
hit a certain milestone, you'll unlock the second, and then once you hit the third,
Community bits
you'll
and
unlock
pieces.
that. So this is the first version.
Nice.
So this is the ephemera you'll be getting as a
Glass
community
resonance in your
if
area,
you
anyone?
just are sort of participating in the event.
Just-
and then as the event
just
goes
slightly?
on, you'll unlock the second version, which is.
Oh, I see where we're going.
Yeah, you see where we're going.
All right, all right.
They get pretty crazy.
And then last but not least,
Yep.
the Apex version, which is
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to.
I mean, it's
earn
certainly
all
a very
three of these
dramatic
in theory
ephemera.
if, as a community, you manage to
Barry
get
Grendel?
the goals. So these 3 ephemeras are sort of the headliner cosmetic from the clan operation. And yeah, you'll be able to get them all, in theory.
In theory. And then
I do feel like Fairy Grendel
You ready,
could benefit
Rue?
from that one.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on, before
We're still
the-
cooking. We're still cooking.
What else we got here?
This is I won't hover over that first one unless.
Okay, no.
Yeah, yeah.
no.
You'll see. You'll see.
We're bringing back things from
Alright.
the Gargoyle's Cry
Gargoyle's Cry.
manifest.
Yeah,
but we're capping
weapons,
it.
arcanes.
Arcanes, I believe.
Yeah,
standard
and-
stuff
and
for
we
these
talked about
events.
this last dev stream, and we talked about it on a dev short, but the idea being to avoid burnout, we're letting you buy max 2 full arcane sets.
Right. I don't actually
That
know the numbers.
per
but
arcane?
I think I said 42 arcanes, so like per batch.
I see. Which is
2 sets.
Per arcane.
Yeah.
it's a ton.
Yeah.
It's just like people were like killing themselves during the last event and
Yeah.
then hating us for it. So
Yeah. So
Burnout is
Save
real.
you from
you're trying
yourself.
to save it for
Yeah.
yourselves.
That's all.
yeah, we're sorry. We're sorry to that, but we don't want you to be burned out. We'd rather you be angry than burned out in a weird way.
Well, if you're a clan,
I don't know if that's
There's
true.
still a lot.
My only concern around that is
Still
people who
down there.
may
Let's
Yeah,
not fixate on that.
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
fixate
if you
on
take
making
anything
multiple
away from the
accounts.
stream-
Pay to sleep,
Pay to
yes.
we haven't even gone through all of them.
Okay,
yet.
and then
If
there's
someone's
more.
going to go
There's
to that
more.
extent, well,
There's
that's
more.
If you're a clan.
them creating
Yeah.
burnout. So,
Yeah, so
yeah.
we have split the arcanes into 2 tiers. Clans will be able to get these ones, and then the rest of the arcanes will be in the other store. So the sort of the premium ones, the legendary arcanes, will be for clans. Like you have to be in a clan to get it, and then the rest you can just get solo clan. It doesn't matter. There's just 2 different paths to different rewards.
Is it just the same materials but a
That
different
is
shop?
a very cool skin that's in line with the Jade Light Ephemera, the Jade Light Eximus. You'll be able to get a one-of-a-kind skin for your hate, which is the Jade Light Eximus skin for the hate. So
Oh, okay.
it's enlightened.
That does look
It's
nice.
enlightened with hate. So we hope if you are
That does look nice.
If you're a hater,
If you're, I was gonna say if you're a hater, but like I guess that's like
Oh, look, I'm getting orders.
yeah, get orders, get them.
If you're a hater.
If you're a hater,
How that goes
This
in
is for
canon?
you.
Good question, Tom.
Get this.
I hope they have an answer to that.
So we have some really cool things for this clan operation.
And then, of course,
Yes,
herself?
Jade herself.
Oh,
So
cool.
Jade herself.
even when the clan operation is done, you'll be able to access this through the Ortis store. So yeah, it'll be there
All right.
forever.
Starting
Orders
us
has got a permanent shop.
Ortis is an entrepreneur.
Yep.
He is a
He was going to do lemonade, but
the new art
Yeah.
games, which we haven't talked about yet. But yes,
I wonder what
There's new stuff.
rationalization
That's
they've
kind of
got
like a
for
really,
Ordis
actually
not
quite a
just giving
specific
it to you.
offering review of what's coming with Operation
I wonder what
Elevator.
rationalization they'll
is
go
right.
for.
You got your Ortis and Lorunda. You got lots of options. You're going to have to play the Operation game mode, kill some Jade Eximus, earn some of the Operation currency to go get literally everything we just showed you.
that's right.
And that all
right,
starts
then.
June 18th. The operation will go live the day as the update.
That's right. And Rue's worked really hard to get this video.
So there's no cameras, but
What does that mean?
that means-
Oh, no, us.
yeah, but we can hear it.
Okay, so
Oh,
you're going to have
okay.
to watch for the 3rd
oh my
time.
god.
Oh, and I can skip it.
Skip
Oh,
it.
okay, skip
Oh, we
it.
can skip it.
There
Okay,
we
good,
go.
good, 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 good.
Elevator,
Okay.
elevator.
I see. Do we have a quest for Jade? Yes. Jade Shadows.
Yes.
Bup,
Oh,
bup, 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 bup.
oh,
Oh,
you're
you're
skipping.
Skipping,
Oh my
yep.
god.
Quite literally
Yeah, heart
skipping
attack.
Yeah, I
through.
was like, this is great. I love
This is
it.
worse than before.
Yeah. I feel so bad because I was gassing up how awesome the gameplay was for the elevator.
It's not going to
moment.
live up to your
I
description.
know.
No,
I
Sam,
know.
Sam
Oh, dear.
Our
choreographed
boy
this.
Sam would never let us down.
Okay,
Sam.
fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough. That's
Yeah.
Especially with that Urelli skin?
Yeah.
Come on.
So here we are. We're about to go up.
Okay,
Success.
So you and your squad need to coordinate and keep the elevator fueled. There's
Oh,
gonna
I
be,
see.
Corpus attacks coming from all directions. They're going to have
There's
turret
mobile
placements.
excavation.
You want to keep it powered and keep it moving. And
Or
up
mobile
you go.
alchemy?
The enemy has their
'Cause
own
they're thrown?
elevators they're going to try and use to catch
Their
up to
own
you.
elevators?
They
That's
do.
awesome.
That's a
Ignore
lot of
that
elevators.
deflection mess.
And then this is the Ascension version where you'll notice
Yes.
the new Xmas.
Yeah, oh yeah, so you got to be prepared for
Avoid the light.
Avoid the light.
Deal with
Do
new
not stand on the
Xmas.
Jade Light.
Keep the thing
Yeah,
powered.
Jade Light is
Alright.
bad. Elevator safety is here for your protection.
Looks like the power
Ride
level
your
on it
own
is
Marina
somewhat
on the
manageable,
elevator.
so that's good.
Elevator.
Oh, that is very extra.
You have to dodge the
Parkour,
Jade Light
parkour.
Eximus.
use that path. Use that. Oh,
This is some MLG gameplay there.
Sam's a
Look at
gamer.
that.
Sam's
Yeah.
a gamer.
there's 2 types of elevators, 2 types of fuel. Sorry, one makes the elevator go faster. the shiny one makes it go faster. And there's some paths around the level that you can use to basically get bumped up. And then at the end, you just do like a very short.
Okay.
There's just like 2 tiles of
Dodge
scoring.
the Jade Light.
Console can't die.
easy.
I'm seeing hit points on the extraction capsule now.
Too easy as you rally.
Uh-oh.
Damn, Sam.
If he gets
Yeah,
hit
it
by
is very
either
much like
shield or
hijack, isn't
light,
it? Yeah.
that's it.
We're fueling it properly rather than just chucking our shields at
I think
it.
he did. Yeah. So yeah,
But yeah, there are hit points on the extraction capsule on this section.
dark and stormy.
It's raining.
Yeah, and it's
Corpus
nothing.
hijack? I mean, you say that like there isn't already Corpus hijack.
There it is. Yay!
All right, we got the video working. Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
It's like hijack if it was awesome.
Ouch! Ouch! Wow.
I mean, who are they hurting now?
We'll
Hijack
see
is a
about
bad
that.
one.
All right.
So it's different from hijack because in hijack, the problem with hijack is you gotta stay with
shield.
the thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away all the ability to move, which is the fun part of Warframe. Whereas in this one,
Yeah.
you're killing enemies around and then throwing the
That and
fuel in,
hijack has
so
no
you're not,
rewards,
like,
so,
static on
yeah.
the place. You have no reason to just stand in the elevator. We want to motivate you to move around.
No idea, Moon.
There's some hidden stuff around the level that we want you to find to get like a little mini boss at the end.
Yeah.
There's other incentives there
Okay.
to kind of get you moving around the level.
Yeah, and it's all about, and like I really want a moment where
Gosh, move, no.
if like you get to the top and like you just misplay a parkour, you fall all the way down and have to climb back up. Like I kind of want that, and we made it.
Sounds like the last John Wick movie, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
I never saw it.
Oh,
but you know
okay.
what? Yeah, like just.
I can imagine if
just a
something
little bit
knocks
of,
you down, so you're not
hey,
in
you're
a
good at
animation able to
verticality and
grab onto
Warframe.
something, you just
It's-
plummet.
There's a lot of risk there.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're playing Jade and you can just fly right up.
As I understand it, this is a week of technical fixes because we'd never stacked portals this
Yes.
much.
Everything.
There's more reflection probes visible than we can support
So
on the
there's zone
GPU
company,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And that the old portal tech never worked. And it hadn't worked for 10 years, and now it works again.
Yeah.
And so apparently this affects all of our visibility system in every part of the game.
Which
It suddenly
is-
works again.
That's hilarious.
A lesson for yeah.
Oh, so that's very good.
If you want to just go
I'm
up,
not
it's
sure I'm
never
following
that
what broke.
simple.
So yeah.
Yeah, no,
Well, they
honestly,
fixed.
this game had a lot of surprises for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we didn't really think about how much the AI changes once you add that verticality.
Yeah.
It's very hard to locate them, so we had to like narrow their angles of aiming.
Oh,
It's
like
just
the, I see,
Every-
yeah.
it's a whole
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
that's quite the mix-up. I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah. Parkour velocity, invigoration coming in clutch. True. Helminth will be helping you out.
Parkour
It's not
has always
endless.
been
This is
great.
actually, I think we have done some non-endless game modes. We did Alchemy's endless. It's been a while since
We've
we've
been
done.
very endless.
Yeah, this is
builds lately,
not
so-
endless. This is a one and done. So as you're doing the clan operation,
confirms that.
as you start to coordinate with your clan, okay, one of you take position on the elevator. I'll go find the ionic charges. We're thinking that you'll.
I
if
don't
you're
imagine
skilled
that
and
the
coordinated,
elevator will be
you'll be able
affected
to
by speed
finish
buffs,
it
no.
faster. So that's.
You'd have to use the actual game mechanics for that,
There you go. All right.
and mission mechanics.
Status rework. We did talk a lot about this at length on Devstream.
Let's not go that far.
He's getting the notes.
Sucked a lot, but
I felt the tires of the bus going over my face.
Sam did post a dev workshop, and over the month we have collected, your questions and just answers to blasts and things that we weren't able to talk about on 179. Pablo has notes. What do we got for a status rework now?
Come on.
Just throw it out.
Off the top of my head.
You got it. You got it.
So
Let's see what they got.
yeah, because we last time we didn't talk about what we said we were going to
Cautious.
change blast, but we didn't say what it was going to do. So a blast basically now when you get a proc on an enemy of blast, after delay, that blast has like a secondary explosion that deals a percentage of the damage that you dealt initially. Or if you get all the way to 10 stacks or kill the enemy, then that secondary detonation does a sum up of all the damage and does it in an AoE, so it hits enemies around it and it kind of spread the blast. So
blast is
you know,
blastier.
Blast is definitely
Make a grenade
blastier.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
The blasts.
Everything's AoE.
Awesome.
What else we changed? Magnetic.
All right.
And last time I said that we were not going to change magnetic. I lied. We are going to change magnetic.
Okay.
Basically,
That was a lie.
yeah. As many of you pointed out, it became kind of impossible to really compete with Toxin when it came to
Yep.
shields. Basically, Toxin is too good because it skips the shields. So what we did for magnetic is a couple of different things. One is the damage scaling that it does now not only applies to shields, but also to overguard. So now it's a very good tool against Eximus in general.
Okay.
And when you break the shields or the overguard, it does a secondary damage of electrical status. So it's basically like it overloaded the shield generator and electrifies the target. So basically, all of what you when you take out
they
the
changed
shields,
gas
has
to
like
not.
a secondary punch of damage that really hurts them and CCs them because it's electricity.
Does it give an electric proc?
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay,
you
I've
see
got some details to go through on this. We're going to have to talk about this after the dev
My
stream.
commission overload just got.
It's like a Tesla truck recall, but yeah. Oh. Cool.
What else do we have? Anyway,
Rebecca was giving us a list of things not to say.
That wasn't on it.
Get the details first, and then we'll go through it.
last time we talked about Frost, about Cold, which basically now can get all the way to 10 stacks and then can freeze enemies. So because of that, we decided to revise Frost.
The Warframe.
The Warframe. So curiously enough, Frost for the longest time really didn't apply that many. Like he did apply quite a bit of cold procs, but not as many as you'd think, because his freezing was like a fake freeze. Like he had like just a script version of it.
It's a phony.
Yeah. So now we made it so that the freezing that he has is based on cold procs. Which means that instead of the enemies just kind of staying in place, now they also get the debuff that increases how much crit damage you do to them. So because of that, we had to do some changes, because obviously now that it's a status, that means that it kind of has to connect to status duration. So he has longer lasting cold procs from his abilities. And the duration of the freeze is now standardized across his abilities. So it's kind of more in line across the thing.
So basically he just gets cold proc freeze and good ones.
The range of the hit of his one is bigger, and it scales with range, which it didn't used to. Now his 3, so the globe, one long lasting request was that you could shoot from inside to out, but you could never shoot from out to in. So now you can shoot like that.
Nice. That is nice.
Request 10 years in the making. I remember.
How do we even do that? Wow.
I think I saw a coder working on how do you detect a hit proxy through the thing
Oh
or whatever.
my God.
It was,
Okay, wow.
And then we changed his passive. So his passive, again, is one that has been requested to get changed for a long time. Used to be when he got hit in melee, he had a chance to freeze enemies, which, generally by the time you get hit, that's not most useful. So now basically his armor increases based on how many enemies have cold procs around him. So it's similar to Ember, but it's like the defensive version of Ember.
That's cool.
Obviously, since armor scales, that synergizes really well with his orb.
Noted in
that also
details as we go.
Of the orb.
That is incredible, because like when I build Frost, I'm always looking for a bit more survivability, and that is like.
Yeah,
Is this a stealth Frost rework then?
It kind of is.
This is basically a Frost rework, like a Frost revamp. Not rework, but revamp.
I will imagine that after this, probably going to get a lot of people asking, what about Bolt? Because Bolt is in a similar situation where he has fake electric procs on all his abilities instead of real ones. We're not touching that right now. It's just too much.
But you lied last time.
I know, I was going to say, it sounds like it.
You lied about it.
For now, not yet.
He's a serial liar.
The other thing is one problem that was always present with Frost is he would freeze enemies, and then if another player came in with a ragdolling ability, like like Nidus's 2 or something like that, like many ragdoll abilities we have, those enemies were immune to that because you couldn't ragdoll out of freeze. So obviously now that you can freeze with cold procs all over the place, that became really
my stream
problematic.
decided to go brokey for a moment.
We have some fixes, but it's such a complex part of the system that right now is undergoing kind of testing and checking a lot of edge cases and stuff. So we're hoping that it will ship with the update. But if the cure turns out to be worse than the disease, we're going to have to hold it back and then do it in the next update. So we're testing right now. We're hoping it'll go with this. But basically what will happen is now you could ragdoll frozen enemies. They'll remain frozen, so you still have the benefit of the crit and stuff.
I was gonna say,
Stiff ragdolls.
I mean, it kind
I
of
love how that
Wait,
looks.
so if I'm Zephyr and I put a tornado and there's like 10 enemies, will it just
Frozen
be like
ice
statues in the
ragdoll
tornado?
things.
That looks great.
Whereas right now they just get ignored.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
you'll have
that's
like
great. That's
icicles.
awesome.
Oh my god.
That look cool.
So
Do you guys have any ice soul frame abilities? Because it sounds like we could work
Sounds
together.
like we need to steal some.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the popsicle bone popsicle tornadoes.
Yeah.
They're gonna be.
That's hilarious.
Can't
Well
wait.
then.
next, I have so many things, but I just gotta clarify.
Yeah, keep going.
Keep on giving us,
Damage
Pablo.
vulnerability.
Oh my God, yep.
So we have a few abilities that when they add damage vulnerability, they used to stack with the old skin system that we had, that as we mentioned in the last stream, we're going to remove. So what that meant is, for example, Atlas would add 50% vulnerability to an enemy, but that would stack with the original one. So if you were hitting a corrupted flesh enemy with viral, which already had 75%, and then you added 50%, but the cap was 100%, then 25% went to waste.
And it wasn't a full 50% increase comparatively.
And if you amortize the dollar you invest today,
what it comes down to is the system was mega complicated.
yes.
It was great
Since
against
we're
armor.
removing the skins, now that damage vulnerability is getting moved into its own upgrade, which essentially means when you say, hey, this guy has 50% damage vulnerability, he just takes 50% more damage, and forget about how it works with the different skins and the different damage types and all that.
Fossilized.
Which is a nerf to the armor
This
bypass.
affects a few abilities, none of the huge ones, like for example, Molecular Prime does not use this. Community will share the full
it's
list, but
inconsistent too.
Korra and Snare, Atlas Petrify, Corvex Containment Wall, Saku, Lost Gates, there's a couple more, but it's just, all of those are changed.
Didn't realize
to
it was
this
on
new
containment
system.
wall, but okay.
Sounds easier than Belatro, am I right?
It is Belatro level complicated.
I tried to have Megan watch me play Belatro as I was getting my multipliers,
Yeah.
and she was.
But it is kind of like
I have no
how
idea what Belatro is.
mods all work together, right?
Yeah, it's
the
multipliers
stacking.
on multipliers.
Yeah,
on
okay, we'll have
stacking
to see
with
how that
Rhino
comes out
mods.
as well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
with whole
You were
armor
telling me
changes,
about
but
stacking
it is still
multiplier
relevant
Belatro.
in regard to how it
Getting
I
the-
did
Belatro
interact with
didn't
armor.
arrive on time. I was gonna have a Belatro.
Yeah, so we get a minus 50% on the armor, and you applied another minus 50.
Oh boy. Oh
That
boy.
damage type now bypasses armor
There's a little
entirely.
bit more. Armor scaling.
Yeah, here we
Last
go.
time I mentioned that basically, so I guess I'll do a recap of what we're changing. We're changing it so now armor basically does not go beyond 2700 for enemies. This is all for enemies, which essentially means
2700?
90% damage reduction. We are also kind of remapping the curve of that. So what does that mean? Right now, if you on live try this right now on an enemy that has 2700 armor, if you apply 10 stacks of corrosive to them, their DR, or damage reduction, will go from 90% down to 65%. So you can see there's still a lot left, even though you have the maximum amount of corrosive stacks. So in the new version, instead of 65%, it'll go to 40%. So you still have a chunk of damage reduction left because you don't have extra procs of corrosive or an ability or whatever, because corrosive doesn't go to 100%. But it will now kind of have way more benefit just from those 10 stacks. And the idea is that you'll feel more, for each stack of corrosive, you should have more of a feel of they're taking more damage now.
I'll have to look at the scaling they've gone for on that, but
The writing will be there.
That's it. So you're capping DR
Capping the armor
and then increasing the debuff
changing
amount.
the
This-
curve
Interesting.
on that
Interesting.
debuff. Yeah.
I will need to run the numbers.
Anything else, Bob?
I will need to run the numbers, but that's...
Let's take a pause there, show some visuals, and then we can come back to you if there's more.
No, I want more
No, I
Pablo.
like this.
More
Yeah.
I've seen what's on the screen this whole time, and I feel like a
Estelle,
dog that sees a treat.
damage reduction due to
Like,
armor is a
This
separate
is
calculation, it's
very
not
special
linear.
what I'm seeing on the
So
screen.
removing 80% of armor doesn't
I
remove
know.
80% of damage
Yeah.
Okay,
reduction.
but continue. I will be a well-disciplined wolf.
Okay.
So for the rework stuff, I think that's it. I have other stuff, but it's the other topics.
Yeah, it's like
Okay,
yeah,
other
that's what I said.
topics.
Okay, like there's
okay.
UI.
And the UI
Okay.
stuff.
I
Yeah,
knew it
cool.
was time. I knew it
She
was
felt it.
Yeah.
All of that and more will be in written form in the already known dev workshop. I think you can do !workshop in Twitch chat, and it would take you right there to the forums brought to you by Sam, the gamer,
I
who is
almost feel
up.
like we need like a little set for Pablo's corner.
Yeah.
We'll see what it comes out to, Simon. We'll
20
see.
minutes thing where it's like
Yeah, like it cuts away and it's got like a nice
There's
dash.
on. Armor shift captured 10 times to increase, but
Like
let's
a
see
weather
how
report,
they
like with a
implement.
whiteboard and like a chroma key, bad chroma key. Yeah, I love it.
All right, we'll
See
work
how
on
it all
that.
comes
We'll
together.
workshop that.
Set review. Set review.
That's awesome. Have we given away a prize in a while, by the
Oh, that's a
way?
good call.
Let's do it.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help.
We can do one.
Okay.
What do you think you are, the boss?
Let's prize it up, people.
I'm the world's best boss.
Yeah, you guys are
Prize is
Not
going.
$1,000.
All right, let's see what they're doing. 1,000 platinum going to.
Settle down
From
now.
Steve. Just kidding.
No.
1,000
Who's gonna get it?
going
It
to
is
He lost all his money in the.
Papa Mariska.
Mireska?
Papa Mariska.
Mariska.
Papa Mariska, congratulations, you've won
Congrats to whoever they are.
1,000 platinum. Please whisper the Warframe Twitch
Workshop
channel
up. We'll have a look at that
now,
later on.
alias, platform play Warframe on, and we'll get you your 1,000 platinum courtesy of Steve.
Hey, welcome on in, Iron Moose.
Okay, let's finally show what's on my screen that Reb is frothing at the mouth for.
Shufty, because I've been shufting.
Frothing something?
I don't know. I'm a wolf.
Your Rally Deluxe.
Your
we've
Rally
shown her in
skin.
concept form, we've shown her in art form, and here she finally is in-game arsenal form in all of her beautiful glory.
A very
The Pangaea skin,
Curious appearance.
salvaged from the depths by none other than Hun Hao. Megan.
Showing the back.
I always like to you can mix and match helmets. You can mix and match helmets and bodies. There's so much you can do with
I
our.
sang that.
Zom, yes, go ahead.
You can mix and
Post
match.
and pin that, please.
Don't touch the thing. That's perfect.
Okay.
Love this.
Actually?
Yeah, I'm
nice gradient.
Yeah, oh yeah, gold
Wow.
and green. That's fantastic.
Gold, green, and
yeah.
pink. Super cute.
All right.
Megan getting fashion advice.
Yeah.
There we go. Super, super cute. This will be coming with Jade Shadows as well on the. Can you switch the helmet too, just so people can see all of them?
Which helmet?
Definitely the top is what
I like
everyone's looking
the,
at.
I'm just-
Ureli's default helmet with it looks super cute. Look at her. Super cute, and then if you.
Oh, yeah, Zom, you
have
have
the
to,
helmet on her
give it a
Ureli
moment.
Skin, it's also amazing. The Pangaea helmet.
Well, actually, you say let you pin. I don't even see your post
Put that
yet.
on like her normal.
Yeah, like she.
It's
looks
kind of
super
hard to
cool.
pin a post that hasn't posted.
Yeah. So anyway, this is coming with Jade Shadows.
It almost has like a bit of a.
Yes, you get a new Merlina as well.
Get a new Marilena.
You can be
Ew.
riding on a. Oh, look at it!
This kind of completes what I was thinking. Like it gives me like a War of the Worlds vibe.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Wait, no, look at his smiling face.
There you go.
underneath.
Wells
I pinned it.
era kind
Where?
of.
Under, like turn it around. Look at him. He's so happy.
This is
Up there.
this could be like in Scavenger's Reign.
That's a smile. yeah, it is Scavenger's.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
indeed a
yeah.
Merlina.
It's gonna, like,
Fair do, fair do, fair do.
Yeah.
Vomit some stuff into you and
Yeah.
take over your
Most
mind.
likely Iron
She's
Moose,
the
yeah, most
cutest
likely.
horror of the
So
depths.
wild.
She's a deep sea creature.
Yeah.
You don't look at a anglerfish and think I want to kiss it.
That's true. That's
That is
And
true.
the compressor, as we know, is also getting the deluxe version of it.
Nido Blast,
The
which is
Nido
not a Pokemon, surprisingly.
I might get sued for that.
What are they gonna do? Nido Blast? That's proprietary
Sounds
naming.
similar. Sounds similar.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm sure the lawyers have actually got
All right.
over it.
All right.
Yeah.
Coming in Jade Shadows.
Gorgeous.
Miss Ureli
Great work.
Deluxe.
Great concept, great implementation. Wow.
Yeah, the
Well,
team really
Ladybug,
worked
they've
on,
all-
worked hard on
Warframe
it, but the
has
pearl
seen the
lessons,
Tumblrs.
her
Yes.
actual
Oh,
pearls,
yes.
They've seen
I
the
remember
blogs
seeing
out there.
conversations about that. Great job.
She might have the best. No, I
They
don't
know.
know. Like at a gem value, which Warframe has most value? Citrine has a
Citrine?
lot. She has a lot of gem.
She'd be a gem.
But like, is a large
I don't know
pearl?
if, yeah, like,
Citrine's not diamonds.
No.
She's mineral.
yeah.
This is deep.
This is a
These are
24
the
deep.
problems we have to solve.
a
Yeah.
24 karat frame.
Yeah.
All right. In other fashion news, like I mentioned, Tennogen. We have a round of Tennogen coming in Jade Shadows. We have a lovely key art piece to show you. Finally getting a Lavos skin.
Oh, Plague Doctor Lavos
Okay, then.
is iconic.
Incredible.
Been a
let's go
long
through
time
them
coming.
Really quickly, the Kuva Pump chest armor is going to be coming. This is going to be a PC only one for now.
That is sick.
Your
Fair
Kuva
do.
Pump on. And then we have the
It's
Corch.
not an arc reactor.
Okay. Okay.
Legally distinct.
I am
Sorry,
obligated to say.
Robert Downey Jr.
Senior. No,
Senior,
no,
senior,
no
sorry,
copyright.
senior. Cortrix shoulder armor. Get some sentient
Incredible.
vibes. Oh, sorry. That Kuva pump chest armor is from Surf, and then this shoulder armor is from Lost Epoch and Daster Creations.
Nice. Cool.
Hey.
And then we have
Okay.
some operator cosmetics, the Spicularis, Oculus, and Mask by Ventral
Oh, that is
Hound.
sick.
I'll be quite honest, I have
needs two
never
eyes?
cared for operator cosmetics.
Oh man. See
And
the world through my eyes.
Am I
We
going to buy the
have
Lavos
a
skin?
helmet for
I
Equinox
will
by
consider
Riku,
that better
which
when I
means
can
we get
see it
3
better.
helmets, technically.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, cool.
So
That's
sleek,
really well done.
beautiful. And
A nice
then
look.
the Lavos Yersin skin by Lubox.
Oh, it's so good.
He's so cute.
Oh,
Plague Doctor.
It's
vibes.
so good.
Yeah.
beak it up. Love
I'm
it.
gonna be
Okay.
throwing
Sheldon's gonna hate it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Sheldon's bird.
Two birds.
Oh, I love
phobia.
it. Love it.
Bird. So that Tenogen will be
I
coming
can see
to
the
Jade
vibe.
Shadows.
Oh, June 18th.
Reminder, I am a
18th, as we
practical
know it.
creator rather than
Alright. We
a
mentioned on last
cosmetics
stream that we had some
fashion-focused one,
augments
so
coming.
my reaction will
Now
be
we have,
dimmed
this is
in
a
comparison to
work
what
in
others may
progress
be.
asset. There's still some pH and whatnot might change the titles. Anyways, we have 4 augments coming.
You.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at this.
We have Protea Blaze Artillery Augment.
When
which I'll
Temple
show you a
Anchor is
video in a second.
activated,
Don't worry,
again
Pablo.
linking to that.
We have a Sevagoth So Augment, the Dagoth Grave Spirit Augment, and the Corvex Containment Wall Augment. And Pablo brought a little video for the Protea one.
Yeah, I was testing
right.
this morning, and I was thinking that I should apologize to my future self.
So we got
regret
Dark
this?
Propagation
Yeah,
is basically
for sure.
like the Banshee
Dear
Sonar
Pablo,
spread one.
2026. I'm sorry that you're having to nerf this, and
Nerf
everyone
this.
hates
Oh,
you
no.
right now.
Oh, come on.
It's okay.
It's gonna be great.
It's a balance always.
Interesting choice
A
of Spectral
decision you
Spirit,
make
just alternate
will
use. I
not
like
survive the
that.
test
Armor
of
ship on the
time.
containment
Alright,
wall.
roll
Good
the
to see.
clip.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
And then-
Protea. Look at that. Oh, and it follows her around. No problems there, right? Is there a
Is that the same fire rate?
To the space.
is there a limit of 1 at a time?
Yeah,
Did it happen
Okay.
again?
Okay.
No, that's
Did
the
it
end.
happen again?
Did the video die?
No, that's it.
no,
the
that's
end.
weird. That's
Yeah,
weird.
Pablo didn't fade
So
it.
limited
He
to
didn't
20
fade it.
stacks
Okay.
on the damage output, which is still
So you
plenty
only
amount
cast
of
1 at a
damage.
time, though. So
Uh,
that's
Well, you can cast others, but they don't follow you.
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
You can cast more, but they stay where they. And because you're in temporal anchor, the one that anchors to you has duration as long as your temporal anchor lasts. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, Pablo, in 2026.
Clip this and send it to Pablo.
Chat says that's so broken. Nice.
You have until 2026 to break it. You know what?
Time limited offer. 2026.
I mean, the long
Yeah.
sentry is
And
nice.
conveniently for
Longer
TFI
sentry, the
Max
one that
is
follows
fun.
you, it is nice. The linking it to that fourth ability again.
All right, in
just,
addition to
can we-
augments, we also have some decrees, and these were conjured up from our design council.
Cool.
nice.
There's a whole bunch, but we've selected 5
Could be
here to
pithy.
show you just as an example. We have some,
Okay,
the ones that give
rerolls.
you a little bit of a negative.
Enemies
or
have chance to drop
plus, and then
Corrupted
orbs,
decrees.
some fun ones.
drop
Bountiful
crits
Harvest,
to increase
Ooh,
squads crit damage.
resources,
Interesting.
drops.
Increase 1 electricity damage by every bullet reloaded into your weapon. Does that scale infinitely?
No, because once you reload.
Oh, on reload. Oh, it's not. Okay.
Plus magazine capacity and gain
reload.
electric damage for
Medicine.
Like a trum
bigger mag stuff. Fair do. I can see the value in that.
Awesome.
Ask it for Trum.
And then create some plans to drop additional
So
resources.
these are just
Sure, why
5
not?
of a bunch that are going to be coming in Jade Shadow. So you can look forward to that in your Deviri game. And then, like I
Okay.
mentioned on last Devstream, Arcanes. We have some Arcanes
Arcanes.
cooking. We have 1, 2, 3, 5. And here they are.
Ew.
Any thoughts on these, Pablo?
Yeah, so
Full
this one
placeholder.
will be acquired in the new Ascension game mode and from Good Lordis. And yeah,
Pity system and game mode drops. So, yep,
We got
you'll be able to get them.
Battery armor is basically
And
flow
PH,
but
so
conditional.
Don't get married to the descriptions, but
Just love the names. The names are
Overguard
insane.
steal,
Yeah.
curious, and
Ice
multiply
Storm.
damage to
2 Warframes, 2
Overguard. Ooh.
secondaries, and a melee. So you can play around with those.
Oh my God,
Secondaries
Arcane
eating
Ice
well
Storm will be
again.
so good with the new Frost.
Exactly.
Are enemy
Yeah,
frozen
that's
solid,
awesome.
gain
Surely
strength and
it is.
duration. Fair enough,
No
more
one could have
cold
seen that
focus.
coming.
What luck.
Ability
Wow.
cast, gain damage
Enemy
multiplied to your next shot for every.
battery armor is a new
Energy
thing.
you
We're
have.
trying to see basically one stat scaling from another.
That's a shotgun
We'll
focus,
see how
I
you
guess.
guys find it.
Does melee affliction work on enemies with no feet?
Stacks
As
existing CS enemies
Osprey?
are knocked off their feet by melee attacks.
Okay.
Let's go.
You have to study if every enemy has a foot.
Or
So that's
ground
I guess a
related
slam
How
attack
does that work
focus.
on? Okay. Gotta think.
Oh,
It doesn't require slam,
Lots
but
to
works
think
well
about.
with
Lots
slam
to
for the melee
ponder.
one.
Rebecca's in loophole mode.
I'm trying to exploit it already.
Belatra's changed you, man.
Curious,
That's
curious
my
bits.
Joker for the run.
It
Yep.
really has. All right.
Okay.
Pablo, it's your time to shine again.
None of those for
improved.
primary.
You are
Yeah.
Yay!
2 Warframe, 2 secondary,
Going
1 melee,
back
no
to my old
primary.
job,
Back on the
different
team.
UI things.
Yep.
So lots of UI things to look at.
Yeah, we're going to show you all of these, but this is just a quick snapshot of what we're going to talk about. I'm going to show most of them live, actually, which
Yeah,
is
let's just jump
super
in.
fun. So let's just jump right in. Sorry, Rue. To my beautiful gameplay.
Wow, beautiful.
You are very
Yeah.
welcome, Zero. So welcome on in. Welcome into the channel
Yeah,
here.
man.
No, I'm.
You're into this?
This one's pulled off well.
Oh, this is just too much for me.
yeah.
Does she look
No.
like she's like a gangster? Like she's leaning back? She's like, I couldn't be
This one-
bothered.
It
Green is working,
sharp.
but I'm not sure about
It's
this
sharp.
pink.
No, it has a vibe.
That is quite
Yeah,
the
no, it's kick-ass.
stand.
Oh my god, I'm gonna.
She's pulled it off.
Oh,
my God.
wow, okay.
Oh my god, I don't know
Next
what to do.
t-shirt confirmed.
I'm all flustered now. Anyways, all right. First up is
Upgrade screen.
Upgrade screen. Duplicate mod configs, Pablo.
Do you have a mod config? There you go. So let's look at your C config, which hopefully it's empty. Maybe.
Am I C?
Yep. there you go.
Empty. No mods.
Oh,
We go
okay.
to, thanks, Pascal.
Thanks, Pascal.
He gave me this build. He gave me this build.
I know.
He gave you an empty mod slot build?
Shout out.
I didn't have enough format at the time for all of it.
Embarrassing.
So
Yeah,
you
no.
click on the new duplicate thing. And
Uh,
that's exactly
maybe
what
not
you'd
Zom, maybe
expect.
not.
Basically now you can click config C, press override, and now you
No
have
longer
the
having to
conf-
fiddle around with
so
chats
you
to
can
send it.
mess about, change a couple mods
Cool.
as you wish, and
Cool.
all that stuff.
That's
We
just
also
sensible to have.
While you're here, if you can put like a mod in the wrong spot,
Let's
like,
see here.
yeah, like that.
Oh
on any of those.
no.
Do it. Put it there.
So now it shows you a little tip there of like, yeah, this one's wrong.
Oh,
but
okay,
if
yeah.
you change it to that, that's correct.
That is nice.
'Cause at the moment in live game, you actually have to like unequip the mod to even see
see,
what's
yeah.
behind. So
Yep.
we
That
will
is
just
a
look in.
nice little feature there, showing just
I
which
guess we
polarity
can
is
show
hidden.
the stats while we're here. So last time we added a bunch of sub-stats for things. So if you look at shield, for example, it has, how long does it take to recover. how
And the
much
little dot
invulnerability
says
it
there's
gives
more
you,
info.
Recharge times, all that sort of stuff. So now we added that little diamond just so that you know that there's sub-stats there. And also the little
Cool,
arrow,
cool.
for example, in efficiency, where you can see what actually changed. So you can see which
If you find me
numbers went
squinting at
down.
anything, I'm
So it
watching
just
this on
gives you,
less
like,
than full
extra-
screen just because of my
all that extra
setup.
information, and there's
Yeah.
an indicator now. So
Just
that you
like
know.
in Balatro.
It's exactly like Balatro. We got this from
Oh,
Balatro.
come on.
It is!
Oh, come on.
Next, I guess,
Augments?
feature fashion.
No,
augment, okay. Yeah,
Whoa, Pablo.
Slow down.
we already showed the list. You were shushing me.
Yeah, you did.
We
When?
showed the entire list
You
of
said this is
everything.
Rue showed it.
Oh, that. Whatever. They don't know what that means. They have to guess.
What could
What?
feed
All
They don't know
this
what
in
that
the
means.
abilities screen.
They have no idea. They cannot guess. Augments on ability screen, Pablo.
Right, so if you hover any of the abilities, you can right click and then it shows you that, and you can see where to get it from, so it can be found.
That is
from
nice,
outside.
showing not just what it
Right
is,
now,
but also where
sometimes
to
we
get
see
it.
players when they want to find one, they have to click through each syndicate and sort to find.
That
where
is
it's
good.
at.
I
So
do like
Now
that.
you can come in here and kind of find out what the options are, and then hover to figure out where to get them from.
Easy peasy.
That is definitely a positive right
And
there.
now, hey, feature fashion.
Hey,
What
feature,
could
what
that
could that
possibly
mean?
mean?
What does it mean? What does it all mean?
Okay,
Ah.
Jeff, Steve, this is your moment to judge your peers.
Yeah.
This is your
That's
time.
why that's why we came
Oh,
today.
do I need to remove myself for a
What is
moment?
this all about?
Oh,
So
look at
if you go into
that.
appearance
Oh, I see.
for,
I see.
Warframes, right now we're going to ship this with the starter frames and with Jade.
Cool.
You can find right now a lot of
grab
fashions from
me.
our team.
Wow.
It's almost like a credit screen in the, in the arsenal. So
Okay.
you can hover
All right.
any of them to see what they are, and then if you click,
I wonder what.
Uh-oh.
then you got that. And then
That's-
if you want to,
He's laughing!
I mean, that certainly helps sell the fashion frame
Excalibur.
options, doesn't it? That certainly puts it front
Give
and
them to
center.
me.
Here is what you can do. Do you want to do it
Take
now?
Give
my-
them to me. Can't spell.
What's wrong with Tiger Excalibur?
Yeah.
oh,
No, it's fine.
I can see the value to everyone in that.
Yeah,
It
they
broke.
work. They work.
Do you remember Zubaz from the 90s?
Yes! Yeah.
Wait, the lemur?
Nice.
No, the pants.
No, the
The
pants.
They were striped
The
pants.
striped pants, yeah.
Okay,
Were you
well, why
thinking
don't...
Zaboomafoo?
Yes.
I wonder
why
if
don't we look
they'll
at combos then? What does
have
Pablo
community
have?
contests to put additional fashion
Yeah.
frames in there,
Oh,
similar
is
to
this
the
a-
dojo
Can I
Can I
showcases.
have this? Can I?
I wonder if they'll do that in the future. Imagine that.
if you have
Featured
any
fashion.
You gotta show it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Big flex.
So the idea for this is we're gonna fill them over time with community effort.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Yep, there it
Isn't
is.
this incredible?
Oh my
Fill with community
God.
effort. Called it.
Charlie, my queen. Okay, that's
I have
sick.
so many questions about how this is implemented. It's very cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
Pablo.
Yeah, I
Oh my
can talk
God.
about implementation.
He's gonna flip us off.
Okay. All right. What else?
But yeah,
Cool,
the plan
cool.
is, so right now we're going to ship with starters and Jade, and then over time, working with the community, we're going to fill out
Yep.
the rest of the spots.
This is really cool.
Yep. And then, so I assume it's living in Mongo then, right? Or is
no,
it living
it's
in a
actually
package?
in database.
In
yes.
database, yeah.
Sorry, it's
In
just
the
la package.
type package, yeah.
We just
Cool.
made a manifest.
Yeah, cool.
Save
Manifest.
strings for,
Yeah.
because we already had the string encoding for
They're talking a
sharing
little
links
bit of,
across chat.
Yep.
So
Background
we're just reusing that system.
Oh, you're reusing.
background
changing
code there on
IDs
how
into
they actually
strings.
built
Yeah,
it.
cool.
Do I dare show more?
I would show Meg. Yeah, show some Meg ones. So anyway, yeah. So it's coming.
Chat is very judgmental today.
Taylor.
Taylor got two in there. Wow,
Okay.
Taylor.
Oh,
She.
all right.
I do like what they're going with here.
All right. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see your
Because
second
there
one.
are some of us who are fashion challenged and could use
Oh,
some
yeah, that's
additional
me.
pointers.
That's more you.
That's for me, for
That's
sure.
the one.
So I do like what they're going with here.
Yes, love it.
So yeah, we're gonna do Meg, and Volt, and Excalibur.
Not saying I'll
and
pick
Jade.
all the skins they're showing. Some of the
Jade.
setups are
Oh, Sam.
Sam, oh, let's see it, buddy.
would need further tweaking to meet my
Angel,
taste, but
Angel
that's going to be the
Zeraman.
same for
All right.
everyone, really.
That is a that's a Zeraman themed one.
It's giving I'm an
I
angel.
feel this one too.
Yeah.
I like this one a lot.
She's-
Yep.
she's- Pablo?
Oh, let's see.
He's such a cutie.
Oh, he tried.
Rue?
Rue's over there. Rue. Oh.
Yes.
All right, that clears.
Strong theme.
1
Zeraman,
billion,
Very
baby.
good. Very good.
Angel
Yeah,
Lab.
that one's a pretty
1
clear theme
billion.
right there.
That's got Riz.
Yep.
Big Riz.
Oh no.
No.
Anyways.
Okay.
That's really fun.
Next thing,
That's
what
cool.
so we got
All
more
right.
USB.
Next we had quick access, which is actually an image.
Okay.
Oh, image switch time. What we got?
Rue. Oh shit! Look at that. Shit.
Yeah, so quick access we added already in a few places. We're
Yep.
basically just expanding the places that it's available on. It wasn't in some of the towns and in the Dormy Zone.
And Maru's Bazaar.
The apartment and the Maru's Bazaar.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so now it's in more places. We also moved a few
Good
things
to have
around to
that.
just kind of make it more consistent so that the arsenal is always in the same spot and things like that.
Nice.
Nice.
Your quick travel wheel has gotten quicker.
Wheelier.
What else we got?
For you widescreeners.
Good catch there,
Is it widescreen or
Estelchins.
is it
No,
4K?
it's just
Good catch both of you.
Yeah.
4K screeners.
Yeah. I'm both.
Yes, we made a change to the way the HUD scales. Basically, the way we set it up 11 years ago. Back then, there were way more people with 720p resolution
Yes.
than there are today,
Yes.
thankfully.
God, my eyes.
So if you open the game as it is right now in 4K without changing any settings, that's what the HUD looks like.
Been there, my friend.
which-
That is a small HUD. You
Yeah.
can
Obviously,
barely
it's not
see the
very
bits and
good.
pieces. I'm blocking none of it. It's that
we
small.
changed it so now basically it maintains its size regardless of the resolution. So if you look at the next one, so now it basically always shows at the same size on all resolution. So this is also 4K and it shows at that size. Now for some of you that already got used to tiny, you're gonna be like, oh my God, that's huge, need to make it smaller. So HUD scale right now on live, you can only make it bigger. Now with this change, you will also be able to make it smaller. So you can
wonderful,
go in both
yeah.
directions, so you can get it back
Good
to
scaling.
whatever size you want. But because
All
of this
the way.
change, we did have to reset that setting. So when you load the game, you will be seeing the HUD like this, and then you can change it as you please.
Bigger the
Well, I
better.
know what the Reddit meme is going to be on the day of release.
I don't
Cover
want
my
to see
screen.
numbers. I
Big
wanna see
UI.
action.
Cover my screen.
All right.
Well, you gotta hide that fashion.
Oh,
Oh!
you just
it up with
approved
that.
one of mine, and now you're gonna slander me.
Took it away.
Distance scaling damage.
That's a good
numbers.
change to make.
This
Nice,
is damage
simple.
numbers. So we have
Well,
a
I say
video
simple,
for
but
this.
nice,
Basically,
sensible
we made
change.
those changes to the damage numbers a while back, and one of the problems that remained was that they were covering the enemies that you shot. So we have a new version that you can see on the right where we call it affectionately the donut numbers, because they make like a little donut around the guy so that
I
basically
don't
they
have
move
to
out of
turn
way
off
and
the
don't
numbers to
cover your-
headshot.
don't cover what you're aiming at.
Yay!
Love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Since we know some people already are very used to the existing, we did make that an option. So
Ah.
there's a new option called Cloud that basically brings you back to the old way. But now
Character
the
artists are
default,
Sure.
For real.
Yeah, that's great.
but the default is now the donut.
So donut
There
is
you go.
default. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
New player color customization. I made a video for this.
Oh, excellent.
Wow.
Whoa!
Do we remember this? The Awakening. If you
Like,
are a new player, or if you just like to
like,
replay
I made a
this
video.
incredible opening
Did you make this
quest,
one?
as we know, you get to pick from your 3 starters, and then you're off your way. Oh, hide us, hide us. But could you be a little bit colored? A little introduction to the color customization?
Oh, okay, okay.
You can choose between your 3.
Yeah, so new players can do exactly this. They can get a little bit of fashion while they wake up. Because the first thing you do
Just
in the
a
morning.
little teaser taste of
gotta dress up for
customization.
clothes.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so just like a fun introduction to our
Nothing too
very-
big, just a little detail of, look, you can actually
Which
do
one
this,
did I
by the
pick?
way.
Yeah, and this does use the default palette. It uses the default colors available on the palette, so it's not like we're charging you for this. It's just free.
Look at
it's
him.
just there.
Look at him.
Is he?
This is the Warframe equivalent to makeup, yeah.
Actually, it's so sick.
Isn't it cool?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Like a whole, I feel like a baddie coming out of there.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Someone just did an end game tease in the opener. Believe it. Yeah.
I like that. It's just a little detail, but it just brings you in
May.
that bit sooner
Who's
into
asking?
this is your
I don't
Warframe.
know. I heard a voice.
You have it. I like
I think
that.
it does, but the diorama itself has those fixed.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to check, but I
Okay,
appreciate
well,
it.
1.1.
All right, and last but not least, Pablo.
Well, forget it at least. I think this is going to
That's
be the
not-
one that people are going to love the most.
Oh.
That's my guess.
Okay.
Out of all of these, open the star chart.
Oh, the Star Trek one. Yep.
Loadout. So over here, you can change the loadout just like you can always
Yeah,
been
cool.
able to. But now you can
And
click on
go on.
any of those, and you can swap the frame that you're using directly from there. You can change which config you're using. You can move your mods around.
Yep.
Basically, we're making so that those top-level decisions
Oh, that is
basically
beautiful.
you can make directly there without having to
That
run back to
is
Yes.
beautiful, isn't
Yeah, and this
it?
does take it away from the bottom, so that screen is slowly getting less cluttered in the bottom right. Yeah.
And now it's more in the top.
Top
Now it's cluttered.
It's balanced. It's balanced.
There you go, balance.
No, it's
I
like,
like it.
it's perfectly balanced. It's,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all things should be.
That's
Yeah.
all things.
And I did the little finger just in case.
So that is good. It's nice and compact, but it expands
All right.
helpfully
That kinda
into the
feeds
details
into
you
a bit
need.
of
It's got the
damage
names of
changes
them.
as well,
Yeah.
because you'll
Open up
hover
into
and you'll
modding
see
as
it's
well.
Something different. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Now,
good.
you
I
said
do
this, we
like
didn't
that.
want
That
this
is
to be a 2-hour
exactly
stream,
what
but I
should be
feel like
there.
It's 3:08 and we're not even close.
We
so
are close.
What? We gotta be
Faction
close.
mods have just
Close-ish.
tripled
We're
in
gonna do another
usage as a
prize.
result of that.
Don't we?
Do you want to
magnanimous.
see something, Steve?
Oh,
Do you want to see something?
hit Steve if he asks for. Oh, okay. Never mind.
What is it?
You can do a prize. It's just I
Yep.
literally time out when to do prizes.
Oh my god.
We can do a prize. We can do it.
I thought it says we passed the hour mark. I don't know.
Nah. I make up
Okay.
the rules.
All right.
But we can talk while it's happening. We do have some quality of life.
Plat
but
going
of course,
to-
coming in this update as well. Rue, if you want to show the screen or the slide.
But
Seeker.
first, Seeker, you've won 1,000 platinum.
Congratulations,
Seeker,
Seek, with the
messages.
3-3.
Message the Twitch channel. Do it, Seeker.
In-game alias platform play Warframe on 1,000 platinum to you. All right, some quality of life.
Yes, SNL,
coming
naming
in
configs is going to be even more
Shadows.
useful.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Look at him. You have some pruning to the adversaries.
This is more for
Okay.
our quality of life, so that infinite growth in any database is a nightmare. So we now cap, so that gets like, you can't infinitely grow your Sisters of Parvos and your Liches in the database. There's now a cap. This is just so that we can support your account not getting too bloated. If you have 150,
So max.
that's cap. I think we grandfather people in, or no? I don't think.
Yes, but you cannot get more.
Yeah, so you can't generate an adversary until you have pruned ones that you just don't want in your account database anymore. This is a necessary step for the
Oh, I see it as well, guys. I see it.
Did you check to see who's got like the most, just in case
I
there's like some
think
crazy?
Pascal found someone that had over 190
Yeah,
or something.
190,
I forget.
okay,
I
alright.
might be misremembering.
This isn't to make
There was one with
room for
2000.
more.
Yeah, I thought there was a
Lich types, is it?
yeah. So apologies if this affects you, but it is necessary.
Is it why? To make room for more lich types or something, or what?
Wouldn't you like to know?
He's being mean there. He's being
Undercroft
mean to them
Pathos
there.
Clamp rewards. There's now being rewarded from completing Undercroft portal side objectives.
Yeah. So it
Yeah, so those like the elite portals that you can open in Dubiri once you get enough
Monkey paw.
decrease. Essentially, those now also give Pathos Clamp. So if you stay around after murdering the dragon, you can get you a little bit of extras.
Very well. Next up.
I mean,
we
it's
talked
Pathos
a
Clamps,
little
but
bit
you have
about this
to
on the
still
last
go
dev
through the
stream,
dragon process. It's not like Circuit.
Confirming, yes. Increasing enemy AI for next gen consoles.
Yes. So the AI counts will be raised on
Yeah,
Xbox
more spawns for
and
console.
PlayStation. I think we're doing
Xbox
it
Series
at least
and
at
PS5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Series. Yeah. specifically the next gen console versions.
Yeah, and
Tested.
they'll match PC essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And then also confirming, because again, we kind of talked about it in the last Devstream because someone played our hand.
I was worried this was going to come up.
That's okay.
Semi-auto to full auto, and like we think we mentioned last time, introducing 3 mods that are going to help with the fantasy of that.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, we have now the setting for that, so you can just change it in general. And for
Good.
any weapons that are just semi on their fire trigger, so this doesn't apply to any that have combined or incarnates that switch fire types. For any that are just pure semi, there's now a series of mods that give you punch through and extra damage in exchange for you cannot change your fire rate.
Yep. So you can be blasting.
Makes sense, makes sense.
And then as well,
Yeah,
we
Flo, it
have,
is still Friday.
last equipped relic for endless missions. This is basically when you're presented with that relic screen to pick your next relic, it automatically shows you which one that you were playing last, because a lot of people just want to play the
That's
same
nice.
relic over and over.
Yeah, so it just makes it more comfortable for you when you're doing,
That is
especially
nice.
endless ones, that you're doing the same relic over and over instead of having to search every time. You
So
just-
I
they
wonder if
just
they'll
offer
stop
you
using
something
critical
very
delay.
There you go.
In
And
some
then
builds will
we're
be sensible.
Just updating and standardizing over
Sometimes.
200 descriptions in the game to make it clear on how to obtain
Oh, wait, you
those
mean the
items. It's a
restriction.
little quality of life pass on clarifying
We'll
any
see.
confusion on where some of those things are. We'll have a full list in the patch notes, of course. Improving rare gem mining, so they can now be mined by both the Sunpoint Plasma Drill and the advanced No-Sum Cutter. Saw a lot of feedback about that, so we've just unified those.
Small detail.
We've added checkpoints to the Awakening quest, that one you saw at the beginning. So players who leave partway don't have to start from the very beginning. This is
Good
obviously more
choice.
for the new players, but if you replay it, that also
This
applies
again?
to you.
This?
And then last Devstream, we briefly talked about a Necromech acquisition and our plans there to alleviate some of that. We're going to be moving the damaged parts from Lloyd's store and putting it on Father. We did kind of some calculations on how much rank you would need for both Lloyd and the family, and it was kind of it would take you like 9, almost 10 days to get all of that stuff to get your Necromech parts. So, you know, just kind
Really?
of ongoing plans there based on feedback for
I need to double check that.
because we know it's
10 days?
war and stuff like that. So that's just one thing that's also coming in Jade Shadows.
We skipped the finishers.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
last update, we did a change so that whenever an enemy is open for finishers, they get this special effect on them so that you know that they're open. I would really like that now you can actually tell that an enemy is open for it, but I think we basically didn't like how different it looked from Mercy, because it just feels like there's they are two entire different systems
Yeah.
for finishers, Mercy and melee finishers. So we're kind of trying to unify them just so they feel a little closer. Essentially,
Okay.
now the visual for a regular finisher looks kind of like the little brother of the Mercy one. So they're like in the same sort of family. Also, so the melee finishers have frontal, back finisher, and ground finisher, and there were inconsistencies all across. Like some would have the little label for context action, some wouldn't. Some would be
Yeah.
with E. The ground one would be with E, or basically the melee key. The other one would be with the context action. So we unified all of it. So now they're all context action. They all show the
That's
toolkit.
good.
The little tip for context action has a special visual. And
That's
the
double good.
little marker on the top now, as I said, is basically the Mercy one that you know, and then
This is
like
good.
its little brother for the.
Yeah.
That is just good.
How it goes.
Finishes all
Very
on
cute.
context action. If they're
So
moved
that is
off
just
the
a
melee as
pile
well,
of
you won't
quality of life
accidentally do a
UI
finish when you don't want
improvements
to.
coming in Jade Shadows to look forward to. And now we're going to move into
It's amazing.
Heirloom 2024.
That's just
Organ
good all round on that.
NFTs.
Organ
Penguin,
NFTs.
cheers.
What if you could have a kidney that no one else has?
We are looking forward to this. So last year we debuted Heirloom at TennoCon, and we were really excited about these really premium looking skins and this whole package, but we got a lot of feedback, and while we can't go back and change what happened, we can of course change and react to feedback for the future. So the story of the future of Heirlooms begins today, where we're going to take a look at how we're changing and relaunching this program for you, the
We're going to
Tenno.
need a recap on the Heirloom stuff, but yeah.
As all things in Warframe that bring us joy, it actually does start with the community.
Yes.
We saw this piece of art from the lovely Cleo Natrin.
Cleo Natrin.
So this, when we realized that obviously the visuals and the design of Heirloom
Right.
resonated with our community, we thought let's just redo this and redo it as a community program. So we actually worked, after we saw this fan art, we contacted Cleo and we bought it out. We paid for this, and we
Makes
are
sense.
introducing Ember Heirloom as the next Heirloom skin. So what that means, though, of course, is how are we going to let the players get it? Sorry,
Well, hold on.
Sorry,
let's-
people are
let's
already
show it
like
first.
Yeah.
Let's show it.
projecting into the game.
Yeah, let's.
Oh,
yeah.
there's
I mean, that does
Here
look
is Ember
gorgeous.
Heirloom. She is coming, and we'll talk about the dates and everything after, but I want to make sure that we go through all
Do not
parts
ever
of
put
the
Excalibur on the
launch
front
here.
again.
So Ember
That's the frame you
Heirloom
put.
is indeed coming, and it's based on fan art. Our team turned it into reality in 3D with all these textures and beautiful effects and shaders and everything. So pretty exciting. And we're gonna, so the first major change is we're switching heirlooms to one at a time.
Yep.
So rather than launching two
Okay.
at once and making it like this big overwhelming
Getting it
choice,
back.
it's one heirloom at a time, and of course how you get it is also dramatically changing.
Do we want to talk about what's in it for?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's
Yep.
go to that slide, Rue.
So heirloom, for the first heirloom launch of this year, it is
I'm just gonna
coming, it's launching at
blink out.
10:00. So at
11
10:00
a.m.
Yep. At 10:00, you'll be able to get Ember Heirloom. It's launching the day of the show, the
Okay.
second day. It's going to be coming along with the Ember Prime Resurgence, which will be coming back. So those of you who wanted Glaive Prime, this is your time.
About
It's
bloomin'
coming
time.
with the skin, of course, the Signa, which you see on her head, a glyph, a sigil, a color palette, and an Ember Heirloom Prex card, which is our,
So that's
if you're into
when
collectible trading card
what?
games, sometimes it's really cool when you get a foil, and this is sort of that vibe.
Shiny.
Yeah, it's a vibe. If you get like a altered art card,
Yeah.
we're
All
doing
right.
like a really cool prep set.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that.
And then
Glaive Prime price is
what
already
we're
dropping. I
changing-
mean, they
What
should
we're
be, yeah.
we're changing.
So, this Ember Heirloom is going to be offered to you as a player in two ways.
Gonna move
The
myself.
first is the paid pack, where you can spend, and this is in US dollars for currency, $24.99 to get everything
All of it.
on that list. So the Ember skin, you
Okay.
can get the Signa, everything like that. It's a $25 pack, and you also get 425 platinum in it. So everything that we listed on the prior slide, plus Ember. And that pack is available until the next heirloom. But with release, we're also doing a platinum path. So if you want to get the
Okay.
paid pack, you'll get everything
And some platinum.
and some platinum.
Yep.
Or you can go and get it for platinum in the market, which will stay forever. So we're basically starting an heirloom
Forever?
page that
Ooh.
offers platinum packs of all heirlooms from Ember forward.
And it's a million platinum,
And
is
it's a million platinum.
10 million
It's
platinum?
10 million. No, listen. The in-game Ember Heirloom bundle is 475 plat, but you can also buy all the items individually.
Oh,
So if
man.
Pick and choose.
so
Hang
if
on.
you don't
Fantastic.
want
Say just
if you don't want the
475.
skin,
Yep.
say you don't want it. Let's role
Not your
play.
vibe.
Yeah,
That's-
But that Signa,
That
though?
is-
Yeah.
But that
I
Signa.
can't even imagine that.
Yeah, you don't want it. You can buy every item individually, or you can buy the bundle, or you can buy the cash pack.
Okay.
So we'll start from the top. Ember Heirloom's coming. You can buy the cash pack, or you
I thought
can
that
buy it
475
in
was the
market for
amount
platinum as a
added in
bundle,
when you buy it with
or
money.
you can buy all the things independently, and the platinum path stays forever in Warframe.
Because like
There you
475,
go.
Okay. That's
Ember
great.
Heirloom.
That
Seems
is
like
the
a
heirloom
cheap-
We
relaunch.
don't listen to the community.
We do not.
Okay.
We do not. That is the heirloom
Compared to the
relaunch,
real world
and I hope
cost.
you like
I know they were saying in
it.
Canadian
Seems like a big
dollars, I guess,
improvement,
but
Thank you
and I
to-
see lots of W's.
I'm
Thank
surprised.
you to everybody for. And why don't we take a look at her in game?
Oh, right. Sorry. Forgot I was doing this.
We've been staring at
again, I'll have to look at the
yeah.
numbers on that, but
So
that
this is her
sounds
in-
Uh-oh.
But look
like
at
I need
this
to double
molten
check.
effect.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at the
Yeah.
effects. You see
I
it?
think that.
Do you see it, Jeff?
I am so impressed with this.
Do I need
Do
to
you
switch to an
see it?
intermission
Really
screen,
analyze
like a
this
D
shader.
trying to get me
I think the shader work here,
flagged
and
for
the
sexual content?
texture work, and
Let's focus in on the shader
It's incredible.
programming.
yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
groundbreaking.
It is really cool.
It
even
is.
though.
She's like molten.
Okay,
I mean,
now I'm getting uncomfortable.
I'm not.
Let's just do this for a moment.
So this is her without her Signa. You saw the key art. She
Yeah.
had her Signa on. So if
Just-
you don't want the Signa, you're
Bad,
going your platinum
bad DE,
path.
bad.
This is the skin Nikki, and then you can.
Add that. Yeah. So Kaz did a killer job with that. Like all singers.
You like to change the Y out.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
Fire crown. Fire crown.
All right.
Apply it.
All right. Hit some. Let's see some color custom.
Should we do some randoms?
Yeah, do some random. Just so.
Oh.
Oh my God! Stop.
It's like ice and fire.
I know.
Oh.
Oh my God! It looks so good.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Whoa!
Oh, that's cool.
Whoa!
Sorry, I had to look.
Yeah.
I just had to.
Yeah.
I had
Oh my
to.
God.
So she's got that fire collar.
Bits
Actually,
wearing
in
thin.
motion, it's pretty cool too if you run around with the fire collar.
sorry.
Like, here, hit random again.
Oh, you don't like that?
No. Again. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm equipping Cyan Datas.
Like it has.
I'm making
like,
too much of a point.
yeah.
I'm
Oh, it
equipping
has, like,
Cyan
puts
Datas.
in motion
Screw
distortion.
y'all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
super cool. A bit bright. We might need to tone down
I was
adaptive
well,
I think that's the
exposure.
random
I think
color
I
too.
have bloom on too.
I think we have a few.
Yeah, there's some adaptive exposure.
We'll fix that.
Yeah, we'll
sorry,
fix that.
sorry.
It's a little
Look at her feet.
overexposed.
Her heels are on fire.
That's great.
Look at the heel shape. Like, look at the look at it. Look at the heirloom heels.
She's walking on fire.
Yep.
Yep.
She's
It definitely looks like her arm
Back
tassels are a trip hazard. Just
a little
putting that out there.
Yeah. We can do that.
Christmas.
Yeah, on the Signa you see it clearly.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
yes.
Signa
I
is
think
correct.
the
But
Signa is correct.
There was
So-
actually a last minute change this morning to get it hooked up to color customization, and I think it just needs another
we-
wiring pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Whoa! Oh my God. Anyway, so thank you very much for your feedback, everyone. We hope you enjoy the Ember relaunch coming this TennoCon.
Yep.
So please
One
enjoy.
more of the. Yeah, I see.
All right. So that was it for my notes for me, for Warframe.
I'm going to put myself back where I
Frame.
was.
Oh wow! It's 3:30 and it's our turn.
It's not 3:30, 3:22 their
It's
time.
actually not
Oh
your
my
turn.
God!
But we can talk a little bit because I've made Rue run around. Actually, I gotta close this, don't I? It's closed. All right, we are going to move into some Soulframe stuff very shortly. Very shortly. But
Very
before
shortly.
we do have a few TennoCon announcements. I'm trying to delay because I see Rue sweating over there. Sorry, Rue.
Whoa, why is he on the ground?
I don't know why he's on the ground. To be honest.
Why don't we'll take a look at some
Yeah, let's see what
Q&A.
chat's saying. Let's see what Ola.
Will Frost and Meg Back, they will not for Heirloom. As you mentioned, we're leaving the 2023 Heirloom in 2023.
Show the
We
Prex
can't
card?
bring it forward,
Yeah,
but
we'll
we
have to
can
see it.
change its future, as we said. If you're wanting the Jade Shadow stuff, we spent the first 40 minutes of the stream on the update. It comes on June 18th with a quest, a clan operation,
yeah,
a
June 18th,
Warframe,
yep.
3 weapons, arcanes, game mode, new Eximus type, UI quality of life, damage system reworks.
Quest. Did you say Quest?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Say it again.
A ton of stuff.
Say it again.
Yep.
It's really quite
Lot of
robust,
stuff.
and it's coming.
Everyone's very careful not to spoil anything though about
Yes.
about the quest.
Yeah.
'Cause it's gonna be
It's
very
special.
cool.
It's really
Yep.
special.
The team
Yep.
has done an amazing job on that. We have lots of questions about.
Rue, I can probably drive.
I'd just say it's great to see how much
Yeah, I got it.
I think
that
it's more
Warframe has improved over the
I
years.
can get
It
it.
really has come in strides.
Yeah, Lotus.
All right, liches. Yeah, we're pruning it. We're maxing the amount you can have. We're only doing one heirloom skid at a time right now as well, just to give them more. identity.
Resurgence
So
announced
there
Penguin.
will be another heirloom announcement. I think we're making it at TennoCon. The other heirloom that's coming later
Ember
this year. So
soon.
you can look forward to more.
When I
heirloom
finally
news
put
at
in a
TennoCon.
video when Ember.
Why are you looking at me?
Freaking out. He's freaking out.
What else can you look forward to at TennoCon?
Well, let's
why
find
why
out.
don't we find out?
All right, if you are either coming to the event, can't wait to see you, or hanging out virtually from home, oh, that scared the crap. Is that you? Oh, okay. It's a ghost.
Jeff took over with the
Yeah,
controller.
He just took over my game.
Yep.
We have finally the schedule for you. Not only the schedule of the main date, but also this July 19th Tenno VIP party that we have been hyping up and talking about. Rue, show me that schedule. Tenno VIP, July 19th is a whole clubhouse event. The Vent Kids Clubhouse specifically.
Let's go.
So not only
those
if
who
you are coming to London,
get to go,
Ontario
enjoy.
on that day, you can do early badge pickup throughout the day. You can also get merch early. So the merch will be available for you, so you don't have to, get it the Saturday and freak out and get in line. You can get it on the Friday, secure your merch, but then we're also throwing a huge party that opens at 6 or 18 o'clock.
You may have, Penguin, you may have.
1800 hours.
Have I ever gone? I went
18
last year to
o'clock,
TennoCon.
1800 hours.
Dee invited
And
me
then at 19
and paid for me to be able to
Rev
go.
and I will
Because it's
be on
extremely
stage. We're
expensive
gonna
for
have just a
someone in the
little
UK to go
welcome.
there.
We might show something.
Yeah, we're gonna teach.
Extremely expensive.
Before TennoCon?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
the night before.
Man.
Man, you guys like to punish yourselves.
We do.
That's all right.
We do.
That's all right.
There's
We're gonna-
nothing I hate more than my own happiness.
I mean, it's probably plenty affordable for those who have
World's best boss makes.
an actual job rather than content creation.
I hate you both.
No. We have an incredible DJ who's actually going to be spinning some Warframe sounds.
Someone said, I hope the party actually happens in the venue's vents.
in the
You
venues.
gotta
events.
climb
This is
through the
Vent
vent,
Kids.
vent
Oh my God.
kids.
There
Yep.
is okay, I won't spoil that.
Yep.
And then we'll have live karaoke. Reb will be doing Snake Eater for the second time live.
Oh my
For
God.
everyone
What a
at 10 VIP.
I have been hearing about this. Yes.
Snake Eater.
Hello, Driverish. Welcome on in.
That's why they added the extra day. Just karaoke.
And then 10 VIP will end at 22 o'clock, and then you will go to bed, and you will have beautiful sleeps and dreams waiting for the next day. We have the main stage panel.
Oh
Okay.
So we're kicking off the day at 11 a.m., which is, like we said, the same time the Heirloom launches. How convenient. And then we move into the first ever
Hello, Polyarch.
Soulframe
Welcome on in.
Hey.
If you
Let's
choose.
talk about it 1 second. And then we move into the Art of Warframe, Sounds of the System panel, cosplay contest, which is not only hosted by Taylor King, but also Warframe creator Disfusional is going to
Hell
be there,
yeah.
co-hosting the cosplay contest. I have it on good authority that, of course, they're dressing in cosplay. I won't spoil just yet what they're
I hope
being.
they dress as Steve.
That would be incredible.
Maybe I'll do that.
That would be incredible. And then, of course,
You've done that enough.
that's true. And then Tenno Live itself at 4:30 will be
You
happening.
mean 16:30 o'clock.
16:30 o'clock. Tenno Live 2024
Awesome.
will
4:30.
be happening.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. So this is the main stage. Later on in June, we
If
will.
Pablo's going to do a quality of life slide,
He
can-
will be
Can that
doing-
close the show?
Yeah.
He'll be doing a lunch and
I
learn.
don't want to follow anything that
Yeah,
Pablo
he's
does.
doing it.
for-
Pablo just gets
yeah.
up on stage and says armor scaling.
Just mic drop.
Yeah,
That
that's all
sounds
you
great.
need.
Love it.
So this is the main stage. We do have, as we do every year, workshops. That information will be available in June later on. And
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
lots more information to come, but this is the nitty gritty of it.
Big old
This
schedule
applies to
stuff.
If you're going to be at the event, you know, plan
Kinda
out your day,
self-explanatory,
and
you
then
just
as well if
read
you're
the-
gonna be hanging out virtually.
The bit, it's right
You
there.
have 0 bathroom breaks, not a one,
Don't be late.
from 11 o'clock to 16:30 o'clock.
Unless you want to miss Pablo giving a QLL talk.
No, you're booked
Another
and
one.
busy. But obviously, one of the newer things added to this main stage is a Soulframe Devstream.
So yes, this will be our first one that we'll be
Live,
doing.
no pressure.
Nice.
Maybe, Kurt, maybe.
We thought we shouldn't take so much time in the Warframe
Yeah.
because you have obviously so much. So we're
We
gonna
ate up a
do.
lot, a bit too more than we expected
Yeah.
to last year.
So we're gonna separate that and yeah.
Get to meet the team, and it'll feel like old school dev streams. Just gonna show stuff that's very jank and work in progress, and
Yep.
things that make us nervous. But
Perfect. Are you going to
Yeah.
have a giveaway? Is there like a
And it makes sense that it's all connected, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
still
need
going to
like a
kind
flat
of
picker?
don't have-
Like the first
begin
appeal
to
of our first
spread out a
Actually,
bit.
you can
Actually,
Yeah.
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 Keys, but
We
you
can do keys.
we can do
Yeah.
keys.
We
Yeah.
can do keys
You
for
can do a lot.
sure.
We'll figure
Keys.
something
Yep.
out.
The Soulframe has basically
So that'll be
nothing to do with
happening on the
Warframe
big
other than
day.
made by
Yes.
the same
This will be
people.
where all of the Soulframe information is, teases,
That's
behind
right.
the scenes.
Behind the scenes, what
Yeah.
we're working on, what's coming up in Preludes. Yep.
Yeah.
But
So
speaking of preludes,
Yep.
you guys also just debuted a Soul Shorts.
we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We had.
Oh.
A lot of good news, everybody. A lot of good news.
Yeah.
Oh my
You know my
God.
favorite part about the
I
framing?
know what you're. I know what you're gonna say.
It's Jeff's Dungeon Meshy watch list on that whiteboard.
That was not
All right,
intentional, was
Soul
it?
Shorts.
They
So
Rue saw
dev
it,
shorts,
and I'm
yeah.
like,
Did they say the
Yeah,
island could be
that's
purchased with
a tally
plat,
how
or
many
there'll be plat
episodes of
purchase pack
Delicious
option?
and
Yeah,
Dungeon
Rebs
Meat
keep
watch?
it
Yeah.
Purchase
Only watched
with
6,
plat.
we gotta-
basketball playoffs.
You can
happen,
buy
so-
the island with
Yeah,
plat.
to get him
So,
over the finish
yeah.
line. It's so cute, and that art, oh, it's perfect.
It's very good.
Oh, it's so perfect.
If you would like to check out the Soul Shorts, you can do !! Soul Shorts, and it would take you to the YouTube video.
In
which
their
you guys-
channel.
Showing what's kind of like active and coming
Yeah,
to our little
preludes.
preludes thing. Yep.
Yep.
Oh my God, man. Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm surprised as well. I'm
Alright, so
surprised
we
as
have a
well
Devstream
on
at
the way they're doing it.
10:05.
And the pricing they suggested, I'll have to look into
Shorts
that.
coming in, letting the kids know what's going on with
The
preludes,
Yes.
Discord,
plat
the
purchase
keys, all
heirloom
that
comes
great stuff.
without
Forms
the plat in the
coming
pack.
Got some forms coming soon.
Yeah.
That's right. We're cooking.
Don't ban me, Sarah.
Sarah, don't send us keys. Let me
From
in.
that perspective, you
we
can just
also have
imagine
some
it'd be like,
assets of
otherwise if there was
guys.
plat in it, you just have to
Talked
pay
about
that
here,
plat
but
price to
also-
get the plat back. You know.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
just skipped
Oh,
around
is
that
yeah,
whole
we had a new
rundown.
enemy type.
Is that this?
Dag.
Let's not even say
Yeah,
that
no.
word combination. Yep.
We got
We-
some bad guy dogs.
Got some
Incredible.
old dogs.
Some
Yep,
dogs.
in the
Yep.
game, which are rad.
Oh, Rue's cooking.
It's lagging a second.
Oof.
Oh, the game is so pretty. New
Got
arm.
some armor in the game.
Is that the Diora?
That is the
Dior
Dior
armor.
armor.
Yep.
That's the
Yep.
Dior armor you can earn now.
Dior armor.
Yep.
Got some really good skybox art coming in.
Got clouds and
Yeah.
time of
I
day
always find
stuff
it weird
for
when games
Sky
start
again.
talking about cosmetics you can earn when they're still very
Rose
clearly
being a
in
villager
development.
Watching the night
Yeah.
sky.
Like, before you start selling cosmetics, can you finish the
And what else do
game?
we have here?
That's a personal opinion on that one. I know that a lot of people disagree. Like, oh, I'll support it ahead of time. I prefer a game to be
Live
finished
gameplay?
before they start selling
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll show you the
Sort of gameplay.
sort of game.
That's how I prefer it.
Yeah.
Worked for a very long time.
Yep.
All right, Jeff,
Yeah,
walk us.
sort of our little thing. Show off Steve. Steve made the ghosts black and white.
Hey.
Saturated
Yep,
them,
there
give
you
them,
go.
like,
There you go. Thank you.
So, yeah, very good. Yep.
Really proud of it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
And then we're just.
It is exactly how Warframe started, and it's exactly how what do you call it?
With the corruption kind of
Wayfinder
you can
flopped,
play hide us and just kind of.
and then they've changed that model.
Let's vibe it out.
And then, yeah, so we're just adding this to the game slowly, and
What else is in here, Jeff?
just some.
Jesus Christ.
Hi, friend.
Sorry, is friend the right word?
No, I don't want to get too close.
That's
I think he's
certainly
a little
some kind of
What's he
creature.
behind?
He
Yeah.
doesn't want me to get behind him.
But I want to see.
He's embarrassed.
He's
of that.
shy.
He's shy.
He saw
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Definitely a strange thing, that one.
These are called
These are called mockeries.
The
And there's a
mockeries.
few other variants of these.
That's also what Megan published shirts are called.
That's what I was saying. The team working on gameplay and functions, not the team making models and visuals. You have to give the artist something to do. Yeah,
So are
they make the
these in
visuals for the
prelude
game.
right now?
They are not.
Yeah.
So the mockeries themselves are being worked on. It should be coming soon.
That's
and
what it does.
we're slowly dripping in the corrupted
Yeah.
pieces of the tiles to the.
This is like
To the Glade
To the
set.
Glades,
Yep.
thank you.
This is the Glade set.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so this just
Yeah.
dropped. This art stuff is just going in and,
Yeah.
and came yesterday, and we're hot fixing and so on in our own little world. And every Wednesday, we invite more envoys to come in. So
Check your emails.
check your
Every
emails on
Wednesday,
Wednesdays.
I do.
Batches of 2,000, and kind of help us
What
shape the
stage
game.
of development is the game at?
Soulframe.com.
Yeah,
There it is.
soulframe.com
Claim
to
your
sign
own
up.
That's
title
the
right now.
detail
Put your
that
title.
doesn't
Do it.
seem
Put
to
your
get
title.
talked
Put your
about.
own
What
voice.
stage of development is the game at?
Someone took it.
We've got visuals, we've got
It was me.
Weirdly,
offhand comments of
It was me.
armor, and we're inviting more
Lots to look
envoys.
forward to. Obviously, TennoCon, Jade Shadows, June 18th. She's coming. Quest, all the stuff we hammered off there at the end.
Yep.
Secret? It sounds
and
very
then
secret to me.
the
They're
first
talking about it.
ever Soulframe Devstream
That's right.
Yeah.
debut. Are
Yeah.
you excited?
It's always nervous.
It's always,
It's always nervous.
TennoCon's a weird thing. I'm always like dreading.
Everybody saw a public roadmap? I don't know.
Yeah. When it's
Didn't
over,
to say no, it's
Yeah.
I
What will
don't
you
know.
sing at karaoke?
I don't think that I'll be joining
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna be.
If they were going to
Just
give some kind of
admiring
update,
from
I'd
afar.
imagine that this would be the
Okay.
place to give the
Talents,
update,
yep.
just like Warframe has with its.
Oh, that's right. I'm
Actual
so
updates.
sorry. I'm
Oh,
so
oh,
sorry.
nice.
If you were able to attend TennoCon last year or just saw it online, we had some incredible cosplayers attend TennoCon and make this Lotus. Oh, wait, come back. Oh, it's up there.
It's a lightning
There she is. There's the Lotus. Lightning
Yep.
cosplay, Hoku props, and Plexi cosplay are all going to be at TennoCon. Lightning cosplay, as you saw, did that incredible Lotus as well as a Dax soldier that is standing in our office, and it jump scares me every time I walk by it. And they're going to be returning with
All
the
right.
Lotus cosplay as well. They're going to be debuting a cosplay as Arthur. Or getting Arthur,
really?
1999
What?
Arthur.
So you coming now?
I get what you mean, Ladybug.
That was
I get what you
This
mean.
is your impression.
That's me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben. Love you, buddy.
I
They're
don't
also-
remember getting that request. Weird.
What the? Oh, you wanted to do the Arthur costume?
They're also going to be guest judges for the cosplay contest as well. And then Plexi Cosplay,
All right.
they are making their first TennoCon appearance.
Yep.
Sorry, they did last year as the MOA. So if you saw them in that
Yes.
crazy MOA rig.
I did see a
was-
Moa going
that
around
was
last year, yeah.
crazy. They're doing 2 cosplays. We have an Albert Contrati and a Lloyd, human Lloyd. So you'll see those 2 walking around.
Make them kiss.
Okay.
Oh, wait, is the jacket though getting made for real?
Yes.
Oh,
The hat.
that's gonna go missing conveniently.
Yeah. it's
Stolen.
gonna go missing.
They're also doing a life-size version of Ticker's luminescent wings. So they'll have it's an actual.
Oh,
it's
okay,
incredible.
cool.
And then Hoku Props, they made the Grimoire for us in real life last year, and they're going to be doing a interactive trivia game starring Lloyd and Otak. So if you want to test
That's
your
amazing.
skills, I know
Screen.
the Soul Frame.
Yeah,
Soul Frame screen
you
is
jump
here.
back
Don't
and
do
finish it.
So thank you to all of these amazing cosplayers and creators who are going to be joining us.
So
at
again,
TennoCon
those
this
of you
year.
who
Cannot
have
wait to see your
already
stuff,
purchased the
and
tickets for
if you're there,
TennoCon,
you'll
which
definitely get some
I don't know if there are
great
any
photo
still
opportunities with these
available,
people.
that's what you have to
All
look
right.
forward to.
I'm missing anything else for you?
Are there still tickets available for TennoCon?
Let's do a Protea Prime access before we jump out. Protea Prime.
Protea.
Is something up with the drop? People are complaining about the drop.
Well, it's probably because it's 3:35.
Yes, that would make sense. The drop only goes until the stream is over, but we went extra long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I
So that's the
see.
You're just here to
problem.
hang out.
Yeah.
You just love us so
The
much.
streams run over the drop schedule they created.
Moose Rhino is cool.
Moose Rhino is cool.
Moose Reno is cool?
That's
I've
certainly
never
quite the
been
name to earn a Pro Prime access. Fair dues.
Congratulations.
In-person tech has been sold out day one. That's what I thought, yeah.
Protea Prime Access, please
That's what I
Warframe
thought.
Twitch channel you're watching right now.
So,
in-game alias platform.
talking on the aspect of marketing,
Protea Prime Access.
it's market the
Before we
event you
go,
either already got access to
forget
or
what I have.
can't.
I think you should. I know we wanted to play the PAX trailer
I have
again, but
something else though, don't I?
I feel like. What do you have?
Oh,
Oh
that.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Come to
That's just-
TennoCon. Oh wait, no, it's sold out.
It's
It's sold out, but
Not the way I
we,
do it.
Or watch it,
yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
We are
Yep.
extremely excited, as we always are, for these TennoCons. This is, like we said, our last dev stream of, not the year, our last dev stream before TennoCon, because we go on our hiatus, we heads down on what we're working on for TennoCon,
Cool,
plus now
yep.
Jade Shadows. But the next time you see us, we'll be at TennoCon 2024. You've been cooking.
We're very excited to have you watch online or in person. We do have a lot of announcements still to come.
Yeah,
So
Twitch drop, all that stuff.
yeah, we have like a full thing coming later in June for what you can expect, what we're giving away, all those good things.
Lots of stuff. Like I said, the workshop schedule, autograph schedule, all of that good
Yes.
stuff. Plan out your day if you're going to be there. Like I said, or virtual.
Cool,
we have
cool.
lots for you
We'll
to
see
do
how it
from
all
home.
comes together.
So stay
Yes.
tuned for news on that too.
Yeah, there is cool stuff.
There's cool stuff to do from home
I think we're still going to do some prime times of June, and you're going to do some dev shorts
if you're lucky.
if you're lucky. So you'll see us a little bit, but not in this form anymore.
I wonder
Next
if they'll
time,
have
next-
another
this
in-game
No,
Not you.
relay
you're-
situational
you're-
thing
I'm
to
gonna
try and
do
get
it.
to,
You're
which will
right.
naturally crash the servers again.
Yeah. Is that it?
That is it.
I was gonna say, but instead of ending with the PAX the PAX read, you should end with the Jade Shadows tease again for people that missed it at the beginning.
Rue,
But is that goodbye then?
that is goodbye.
Okay, well then, thank
Thank you so much for watching,
Thank
everyone.
you for watching, everyone.
We love you. We appreciate you. We cannot wait to show you what we're cooking up for TennoCon 1999 and beyond. And obviously, Jade Shadows launches June 18th. Again, please don't spoil it.
yeah, courtesy spoiler tags and
Crazy spoiler tags. That's all.
Yeah.
to everyone at Digital Extremes that is not on these couches. It's been an amazing year working with the team here in person, remotely, new or old to the team, and we are so lucky to work with the Digital Extremes. We are so lucky to have the DE team.
Fully.
Thank you so much for everything for the folks that are watching from DE.
Yeah, amazing work.
All right, Rue, play that
Cool.
video. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Wrap us up. Vampire Stalker hanging away. Off to the mission itself. Go. And that wraps us up on that, pretty much. You pinned the wrong. Oh, you sent the wrong thing to get pinned. All right, well. Zom, what you just sent is a picture link on Discord, right? You just sent a picture link. Anyway, let's switch over to good old intermission arenas, as we are done with the dev stream. Let's put on some background music because otherwise it starts to feel weird. There we are. Zom, do you need me to delete that? I just don't know what that is. I'm just going to delete it. I'm just going to follow through the link to the forums and see what we can find there. That just seems like the smarter thing to do. Right then, so I definitely want to check out what further update they have given with regards to enemy resistances, statuses, all that lot. Let's have a look at it. Let's see what is going on. Of course, it's loaded in without me being signed in for some reason. So force it to sign in, and then we'll follow the link again, because signing in always takes us out of where it was. The Warframe forums. Right then. Let me adjust my screens. And I'm going to need to do a little bit of jiggery pokery. One moment. That on, that off, that on. Up. There we are. Clever little transition, I think. Okay, cool. So, this is on the update to the resistances and reworks and bits and pieces and whatnot. Let me just get rid of the pin. Unpin this message. There we go. Right. Hello, Sashan. Just joined. How's your first reaction to stream? Well, we're going to go through the really pithiest of details, which is what has happened with the status rework stuff, what other updates we're seeing there, and just kind of run from that line. So, what they have said is, over here, we're still iterating on how best to approach rework statuses enemy scaling. However, we're focusing on one byte at a time, which will help inform further decisions. Cool. Additionally, our goal is not to disrupt damage. Our goal is not to disrupt damage king. Sure. But to provide additional buffs to other statuses less used. Right. However, we've noted a few questions, seek to answer them. Please remember that this is all still a work in progress and is subject to further change. Okay. So, what are they looking at? Well, we've Magnetic and Toxin as mentioned. We aim not to dethrone the established meta. Why not? Just saying. Anyway, however, we believe it prudent to lift alternatives to a further viable point without dethroning the best. Toxin will likely reign, especially with plenty of raw damage. Magnetic, while likely not dethroning, provides another avenue to tackling the Corpus and their enhanced shields. Okay. However, we did have some additional ideas. We have planned for Magnetic for the status to do bonus damage to Overguard, and on Shield Break deal electrical damage, hitting for a percentage of max shield per stack. So if 10,000 shield, 3% of that per stack, that type of thing. Okay. Currently, we aim to let Magnetic marinate for a minute with these new changes. From there, we'll continue to iterate, but we believe it's important to get data on how the changes will feel before making further changes. Now, do they mean iterate before the 18th, or iterate post-update after we play it? Arena Yopa? I was specifically linked to a comment, which is a comment on all the changes, and this was posted 54 minutes ago. So, thanks, but no. So first, let's break this down. Toxin will likely reign, so they are not making significant enough changes to address Toxin bypassing the need for Magnetic against shields, which is fair enough, okay. They could have gone different ways with that. They could have made it where only Toxin proc bypass shields and not the Toxin damage, or do whatever they wanted. But then there's these two aspects here. So they've gone for having Magnetic do bonus damage to Overguard, as in the status becomes Overguard's viral, which interestingly is something that I suggested for Blast. I specifically put that as a Blast option, so that you would have Cold and Toxin to do viral versus health, Cold and Electric to do Magnetic versus shields, Cold and Heat to do Blast versus Overguard, was my suggestion. You would have to effectively pick or find some way to get a combined type to get around that. But instead they've gone the route of, no, the Magnetic is the bonus to Overguard. Which is double curious considering that Overguard was meant to be firstly kind of typeless and secondly bonus versus weak to Void. So we'll see what direction they're going, but that's an interesting one. Further curiosity is that on Shield Break, deal electrical damage, hitting for a percentage of max shield per stack, and they did confirm in the Devstream, at least they specified to each other, this will do an electric proc. I don't know if they actually intend to follow through with that, they may not. But a significant point here that I wish to raise is the change to gas back in the past. I know there's gas further down here, but specifically with gas damage used to apply gas proc, which dealt Toxin damage. Now we're going to have Magnetic, which on breaching Overguard or Shield... Is it specifically on Shield Break? Yeah, on breaching Shield will deal electric damage and electric proc. So we're getting a little bit of a flip-flop through history there, and I know that in the case of through history that there is significant time between that and how it impacts everything, absolutely, I can understand. But there's still that flip-flop effect. Yeah. Sorry, saying, wonder if that lets Magnetic proc melee influence? We'll have to see on that one, honestly, we'll have to see. That one, there is no clear answer, it comes down to how they code it, and we know how that goes. Under average saying, yes, but the enemy health types and resistances will be simplified. Yeah, that's again, almost separate issue. It's still the fact that we're having one damage type causing another against shielded enemies. If this works that way, yes. It's curious. Overall, it is curious. On shield break, deal electrical damage, hitting for a percentage of max shield per stack. Now, I'm assuming, and this is a big assumption, but I'm assuming that it's intended to hit the enemy's health immediately, ignoring their shield gate, right? Because otherwise, you'll have the upfront damage, which will get shield gated, and you have the electric proc, whereupon the electric proc's first tick is instant, that would also get shield gated. So I'm assuming that's to ignore the shield gate. Which could mean, if you get a high enough amount of damage from it, it would allow for an instant kill on the enemy if they have enough magnetic procs, maybe viral procs necessary too, enough shield versus their health. All becomes a little bit of a complicated bundle. Demorna saying, I don't think this is going to be as busted as gas was back in the day, though. I'm not worried about the busted nature of it in that regard. It's more the claim of gas damage did gas procs, which did gas damage. Here we have magnetic damage doing magnetic procs, which then does electric damage with an electric proc. It's just an odd choice, design-wise. It's definitely an odd choice. But we'll see. We'll see how that all shakes out. I just don't feel as excited for it. And again, the major focus there is on the shield break and then damage to overguard. The damage to overguard is good because that does make it all faction. That was one of my significant complaints with Magnetic, is that it didn't have an all faction effect. Current Magnetic has one effect against enemies. One. And that is to be a problem to shields. The whole energy drain that we deal with, they don't. The whole UI mess up we deal with, they don't. It's just a shield effect. So the overguard bonus, it does expand it there. And that definitely gives Magnetic a place, or at least in Magnetic procs a place. It just still feels a bit odd, and we'll go into the other bits and pieces. This goes at an extra status effect for CO. There is that as well. If you breach the shields of a Corpus unit and you still need an extra effect for CO, I do wonder what's going on, to be quite honest. And again, that's still only versus shielded enemies, Estadel. Only on shielded enemies will you get that electric proc coming out of it. But hey, we'll see. So let's look at Gas. Gas is extremely powerful due to interactions with Bane mods, where Gas double dips into multiplicative bonuses. Does it double dip? As in triple dip? Because damage over time double dips as we understand it already. As of right now, we don't have plans to change how Gas works, as players have invested a lot into making Gas work alongside Prime Bane mods. As it stands, we don't want to nerf the interactions. We feel there's currently no room to buff the status any further. See, I want to understand what they mean here, to be quite honest with you. I'm almost tempted to open up the game and test it myself right now, especially because it doesn't use elemental mods, with the exception of Valence Formation, which is the only Gas mod in the game, to my understanding. It is the only Gas mod, and that is just on one Warframe. And yeah, the whole, well, players have invested into this janky approach, so we gotta leave that janky approach if that's really it. Okay. It's not the choices I would make at all. There is also the fact that Gas procs get to 10 procs and that's it, they stop. Once you apply the 11th, the first one falls off the end. Best case scenario, your 11th proc is stronger than the first proc, so you still got a net improvement, but it's still a net improvement. Yeah. I mean, the biggest one is uncapping the DOT stacks, yeah. The biggest one is letting the procs be there, like with every other damaging status proc. It is still a design choice that boggles my mind, quite frankly. So them looking at gas and going, actually, you know what? There are setups where it works, so it's fine. I'm not sure that I really grasp where gas is at, but fine, whatever. If they really are going to look at it like that and look at what's going on with magnetic, I want to be positive, so I'm going to keep scrolling. Viral, similar to Toxin Reigning King, we don't seem to disrupt Viral as a big powerhouse of big numbers. We have no desire to nerf Viral, and that's the most realistic way to dethrone it, so we'll not be touching it. Okay. Sure. Doesn't gas also scale AoE proc count? It does. It goes from the radius of electric to slightly more than the radius of electric. And then it stops at 10 procs. So you do get a little bit more AoE. You go from melee range to melee slam range. At most. It's not huge. If you don't actively group enemies into it, it's not going to do anything amazing. It also has that lingering effect, and again, that lingering effect, it is in a small AoE. The visual on it needed updating to demonstrate that AoE, and yeah, it just runs off. So yeah. Alright then, Blast. We have an answer for you. Blast will certainly be blasting. When you deal a blast status, the damage dealt that landed a status will trigger a smaller secondary detonation following a delay. 1 second delay, I presume? If you eliminate an enemy or reach X blast stacks, they'll detonate, dealing a percentage of the summed up damage in an AoE range. Okay, so does the proc just sit... How long... Let me work through my questions here. So first of all, most status effects, they are an effect on the enemy. That effect is a lingering instant or near instant effect. Near instant in the case of heat, where it has a scaling up reduction of armor and scaling down when it runs out. Otherwise, they are effects. They are present on the enemy whilst the proc is there. It is doing something. When the proc goes, it is no longer doing something. With this then, the way I'm reading it, and I often read the things wrong because of the way they describe things, but the way I'm reading it, they're saying the proc will be there, and whilst the proc is there, it's doing nothing. After an undisclosed amount of time, it'll then do something, which is to deal damage. Once. It doesn't say it will continuously explode, so it'll just be a once. You get more damage. And that damage will be an AoE of, again, undisclosed range. The delay could be 1 tick. But yeah, it could be anything. They haven't said, is the point. According to Pablo's comments, blast turns enemies to grenades. As in grenades have an explosion. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Shezbot. Yeah. So I'll say I'm not worried about this making every AoE, to which I was reading at. Because I'm not sure about how much this would buff the AoE unless the numbers are just very high, but kind of impossible to say without numbers. Yeah. When you deal a blast status, the damage dealt will trigger a smaller amount of damage. They didn't define what smaller, but I have to assume smaller amount of damage as a secondary detonation following an undisclosed delay. If you kill an enemy, or they reach a as yet to be determined number of blast stacks, they'll detonate, separate from this detonation, dealing a percentage of the summed up damage, an undisclosed percentage of the total damage dealt by hits that landed blast procs, or just in general, on an AoE range of undisclosed radius. I don't have the information here. I genuinely do not have information to work on here in terms of values and scaling. They've not even put any of that there, so all we can work on is assumptions as to how it'll work. So, let's say that it could work as 1 second after the proc lands, there is an explosion. Let's go with 1 second, similar to other damaging procs that have a delay to them. It may be longer, but let's go with 1 second. Either, after that second, you deal a bit of damage and then the proc vanishes, condition overload is obsessed with you for that one. The amount of damage is based on the damage coming into the enemy with the single hit that caused it. Any force blast procs, I guess, are laughing where they exist, or really high proc chances. If it's based on just the damage of the weapon in total, then that means the elemental scaling can go kind of wild on it. There is the potential to interact and double dip on Bane effects. What radius is it going to have? Is it going to have line of sight? Those are two very crucial things on determining any AoE. And the damage carryover, is it going to be capped based on the amount of hit points the enemy had? If I apply a lethal shot that deals 1000% of the enemy's damage, so 10 times the enemy's health, if I do that in one shot with a blast proc, is that going to radiate out lethal damage to everything nearby? Is there going to be fall off on this radial damage? TX Pharaoh, thank you for actually 5 gifted subs to the community there. Yep, there we are. It's put some of them above, some below on my screen for some reason. But all the same, thank you very much for sending out to Caboose025, to Zenmafren, to Judge Dredge, to Zeofred, and to Joker Keloff Clowns. Curious names. All the same, TX Pharaoh, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs there. I really appreciate that. Ooh. Cheers indeed. Hope you're doing well there as well. Absolutely. And Salvatore Draket with the Hydrate too. Thank you very much. Operating, I think this isn't as colossal as people think it is because it still requires a sacrifice of both heat and cold. Kind of. So what it does mean is that Blast wouldn't be a primer proc. It would be a damage proc. You need to get it from your damage source for it to matter. I still say I might have misheard, but I think they mentioned that this blast might have a safe chance as well. That would be wild if they did that. So I'll pass on that. That would be ridiculously wild. It's just, there are so many details missing on this, and it's so all over, I'll be quite honest, in what happens there. And as I say, on the stats side of things, if there is the overkill potential, if there is the wide AoE potential, if there's the no line of sight restriction potential, any kind of those aspects that make AoEs really effective, it starts to scale impressively. Alternatively, the explosions could be limited to line of sight in a potentially janky manner. It could be a low radius, it could have a very harsh damage fall off over distance. It could have caps on the amount of damage coming out of the enemy based on their max health, so you can't send out huge amounts of lethal damage in a single explosion. And if all of those things stack together, then you start to wonder, what has this actually done anything worthwhile for Blast? Is the trade-off there? So, without the numbers, it's hard to assess where it lands and what it achieves. But still, my biggest concern with this entire design, and I know how many people say, oh, just make blast status causes things to explode because blast is blasting. My point on it is the same as it was last Devstream, and that is when it comes to status effects, they are, from my perspective, the effect of that damage happening. They're not the cause of the damage happening. They are not the nature of the damage happening. They are the effect of the damage happening, hence status effect. That's the design for all the others. The effect of taking a lot of heat, a lot of fire, is that you burn. The effect of being chilled so heavily is that you become slowed or frozen. The effect of impact is that you get staggered by it. The effect of electricity, it courses through and likes to jump between things, hence the AoE effect on it. Corrosive, melts the armor. It keeps on adding up to the same style. So to then have a blast where it turns a non-explosive thing, potentially non-explosive thing, into an explosive thing, a non-AoE into an AoE, blasts don't cause that. Blasts don't cause that. So it feels like a weird mismatch on that side, as well as the whole turning all weapons AoE. If you got blast in there, it's now an AoE weapon. Yes, you're skipping out on the cold, the heat, and then anything that comes from those, which means you're missing out on the viral, missing out on radiation. Potentially, you can use the radiation mod specifically, but various aspects like that. You can still, however, get a lot of those valuable powers from other areas of the game. So it's a bit of one, bit of the other. Especially the combined elements like Viral, you can get that from Nourish. Missing out new Magnetic? Missing out as in I didn't put it on the screen right the second you wanted to talk about it, poor Finn. We've scrolled past it, that's all. We've gone through that. Or if you mean it doesn't work with that, Magnetic Progenitors. In any case, this is why we full sentence. I keep saying this in streams. So, with regard to Blast and Magnetic, I'll recap what I said last dev stream. Last dev stream, I said, here's two options. For Blast, doing the very thing they've handed to Magnetic. Bonus damage to Overguard. It's on the table, they're handing it to Magnetic, so Magnetic will be bonus damage to Shield and bonus damage to Overguard. Even though Shield and Overguard are different things, sure, they're going down that road instead. I suggested that could be the Blast one. So you'd have Viral for health, Magnetic for shields, Blast for Overguard. Whilst the Blast state is there, it is shattering this extra defensive layer. Shockwaves shatter armor. In this case, a special kind of magical over armor. To me, that fit. I'm saying that's caught in the explosive radius of a grenade, and exactly 5 seconds from now, my body's going to blow up again. Exactly, yeah. That's not what Blast does. And then, at the end of the last stream, I also said for Magnetic, to expand it to affect all factions, to give it a place beyond just damaging shields, is to continue the effect it already has on players onto enemies. With regards to that, against players, we lose energy, and if we lose energy, we lose the ability to cast abilities. No energy, no abilities, unless you are someone amazing like Lavos. And that same effect can be replicated on enemies. They don't have an energy system, but they do have a cooldown system on their abilities, and they do have, normally, the guarantee they're going to cast them, but we can block that with silence, so we know there is a way to suppress abilities. Magnetic procs, as I pointed out last time, could be a chance when they attempt to use an ability, the ability fails and goes on to cooldown. Straight up block. So that be Scorpion grapples, that be the slam shockwaves that you get from heavy units, like the heavy gunner when you get up close, that be the abilities from acolytes. Magnetic then becomes the ability shutdown, the disruption effect that Magnetic does to players. I specifically suggested this and put it into a forum post last time. Instead, it gets this Magnetic is now also dealing electrical damage, but only against shields after the shields are gone. So only against Corpus after shields are gone, or anything weirdly shielded elsewise, and also has a bonus damage to Overguard. Also, Toxin's still gonna be a big old bypass. It just feels like a weird stacking of effects rather than using the existing effects. And then Blast turns everything into a grenade. And I still don't really understand where they're going with the, if you eliminate an enemy or reach X blast stacks, they'll detonate, dealing a percentage of summed up damage of which bit on an AoE range. Just in general, the lack of details, the lack of things to crunch there, the variability, because this is such a wild game. There are so many moving parts and such a breadth of scales. The difference between a level 1 enemy and a level 100 and a level 100 steel path is insane. And I really, really wonder which direction they're going to take that. Blast could end up being a marked for death, which most people look at and go, oh, that's a bit crap, isn't it? Or it could end up being the way to wipe rooms. Really hard to say at this point, but ultimately, slapping AoE onto anything that has Blast is not a decision I would have made remembering what happened with AoE not long ago in Warframe. Really not long ago. Natty Panda saying, to be honest, you are trying to make logic out of what is essentially just a concept of things that could change. It's like trying to figure out what someone's going to draw out of 2 lines and a circle. No, it really isn't, Natty the Panda. It really isn't. This isn't someone pitching an idea on Reddit and going, wouldn't it be cool if? This is a very large company that is just a couple weeks away from the release of a major update in which these changes will be present, saying on their second workshop on the matter what they intend to do with those changes. In a game where those changes cannot be so quickly adjusted as a Reddit post. This is not 2 lines and a circle. It is missing a heck of a lot of detail, but it is a very clear indicator as to where they intend to be in a couple weeks' time. How many changes, certainly of major mechanical changes, let alone numerical changes, can they really make in that time frame and intend to make in that time frame to not only conceptualize but then to implement and to QA? Jade update June 18th. They announced that on the Devstream. Do I think the magnetic rework will invalidate electric itself? Absolutely not, no. Just getting electric procs on breaking shields and then potentially very weak ones. Potentially, we'll see. Maybe not, to be honest, but even if it's 3%, 10 stacks, 30% of their shield as health damage, still doesn't invalidate electric procs. It just means that magnetic has a further way to kill Corpus, but that doesn't invalidate electric, no. Electric procs will still happen as themselves from electricity, and they'll still apply to all non-shielded enemies. This is just a shield one. I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's weird that they've made magnetic do electric things. Again, pointing at the past of moving gas away from doing toxin things. But it's what they're doing. Which I just find weird. But this whole blast, it just doesn't seem the right direction at all. Either the procs are going to be too weak to be of use, and then also a problem for condition overload if they run out quickly, or just have so long of a delay that who's even going to wait for them to happen? Or is the delay going to go off, there's the explosion, and the blast proc just lingers there, reducing accuracy for the rest of the duration? Just a shadow of the past? Or blast can turn around and be an overwhelming source of AoE in general. Which, with the scaling of damage numbers and health types in this, hit point amounts in this game, can be wild. With the lack of detail, all I can be is concerned. All I can be is concerned. I mean, it's very possible that both of those things happen at once. There are lots of weapons, blast ends up being useless, but on weapons that hit a specific threshold, it suddenly becomes amazing. And again, it's hard to say. Is Blast just becoming the Sobic mod I tested recently? We don't know. We don't know. We really don't know. Because we don't have enough details to make any kind of assessment, only to have concerns. Yeah, Salvatore, it is a bit ironic, isn't it? On that side. But that's just separate detail, I suppose. Reed say, I wonder if Blast makes enemies explode later in an AoE. Will that AoE cause self-stagger? I don't imagine we'd go into self-stagger through that road. Actually, no, you say that. I say that. We don't know. It depends on how they implement it, actually. I have no way to answer that. Again, it's just, yeah, a valid concern. A valid question. Will that happen? Overall, my concern just sums up to being, rather than giving Blast a play similar to the established paradigms we have, which work, we instead give it this, frankly, volatile option, pun intended, and then Magnetic is just getting weird. What about with the IPs? We saw some questions surrounding a desire for IPs changes, and for now, we have nothing planned. Cool. Alright. Isn't this similar to the blow up after death mod with the scaling damage? If you talk about the Kufus Epic one, maybe. Maybe not. We don't know. Because it, again, depends on the details as to how much damage will trigger after what delay, in what range, on how many procs or elimination, will it then do what amount, to what range? We don't know. Blast shouldn't chain? Sure, Solomir, sure. Shouldn't. Shouldn't. I love that word, shouldn't. Should acid shells chain? Should an acid shell explosion that doesn't cause more acid shell explosions cause them when combined with Toxic Lash and Zarta's Whisper? Should or shouldn't that happen? Or was that question of should and shouldn't not actually addressed, and instead it's just a happy coinky-dink? Should or shouldn't Zarta's Whisper interact with the 2000% bonus on the Fenmore, Latum and Fel arcs, which was removed after 2 years? Pointing. I'm glad. So, with those kind of interactions in mind, I hope you can start to see why I have my reservations and concerns here. Yeah. Okay. Reconvening on armor. With armor being capped, I love how that is like, it just happened. With armor being capped, our goal is to make total armor stripping far less dominant and far less mandatory feeling. I really love the phrasing on it. It just feels like, well, the armor's getting capped, so our goal now... I know that's not intended, but it's just the way it's phrased, putting that at the front like that. Your conditionals usually go at the front of a sentence to then follow on the reasoning afterwards. But anyway. Pulford said, little distraction, but with the announcement of Ember Prime Resurgence, Glade Prime set plummeted to 230 plat from nearly 400. Makes sense. It's been vaulted for far too long. Ridiculously long. Yeah. I say, how I see it is a problem with when we think of blast as an instant effect, but having it linger on enemy feels kind of off. I mean, that's one of the problems. That is one of the problems. Good luck, Tom. Good luck. So, while strip isn't necessary by any means, true. We seek to bring the partial strip further up. Armor strip will lose value by design, forcing the feeling of needing full strip to a desired trait, not a necessary one. Okay. Additionally, with capped armor, there was some expression over less armor making corrosive less potent to strip away those values. However, the raw amount removed isn't what matters nearly as much with this design. We're focused on how much damage reduction is removed with each corrosive stack, which will go up with our design goals, especially as we reconfigure the armor formula to be less bottom heavy. Okay. They're moving a lot of parts at once there. Capping armor, changing the armor formula, changing the corrosive procs, interactions with potentials for full strip and partial strip. A lot of moving parts here. All comes down to the details. An important note is that we don't intend to match the loss of effective hit points due to an armor cap. Sorry, let me read that again. As an important note is that we don't intend to match the loss of effective hit points due to an armor cap. Our goal is to slightly increase the rate at which health increases after level 70, so as to prevent the EHP from completely stalling. Okay, definitions of slightly need to be explored. So, I'm hoping... Okay, we might not be getting information on that. I hope there's more information in here. There's resistances, update Warframes, Frost stuff, Atlas stuff. There's not more detail. There's not... They didn't even put in the 2700 cap, which they said on the stream here. Okay. Capped armor means that shattering impact will be more effective. No, it doesn't change that. If anything, it makes it less effective because shattering impact removes from base armor before levels are brought into account. So if the base armor was 500 and could scale to 10,000, it would take however many hits to remove that armor. Now, if it's base 500, stops at 2700, you'll still take the same number of hits to remove that armor. If anything, it might be a nerf depending on how the cap interacts. For example, if they have the scaling go, well, if you've got 500 base armor, but on old school that make it 10,000, we're going to cap that at 2700. You remove half the base armor, they go, okay, so now you've got 250 armor, which should be 5,000, we're going to cap it at 2700. So after removing half the base armor, you'd have no armor change. Now, I hope they've thought of that and don't make that happen, but that is a possibility. That is a possibility. So let's just hope they don't do that. I realize I'm now being a little bit pessimistic, so I'm going to try and rein that in. I'm definitely going to try and rein that in. More like say, it would not be a surprise if they end up trying to make explosion radius propagate and end up using objects as medium for consistency. Again, over toxic glass, acid cells, interaction. I don't expect explosion propagation as in blast causing blast. If you prime two enemies with blast and they die, one dies and it causes the other to die, I can see that spreading. Yeah, absolutely. But that's because of a separate effect that says when this dies, it explodes. That wouldn't be straight propagation. But anyway, we're missing a lot of details here. This is a common theme throughout this. We're missing details, which makes it hard to really say anything. Now, there is the matter that armor currently provides or presents a huge barrier to dealing with the Grineer. You do need to find some way to deal with their armor. Absolutely. Solomir, they've said right here, we're focusing on how much damage reduction is removed with each corrosive stack, which will go up with our design goals, especially as we reconfigure the armor formula. So they're focusing on damage reduction removal rather than armor removal, is the way I'm reading it. So, based on Pablo's words of, rather than it going 90 to, what was it, like 68% armor? 68% damage reduction would be 90 to 40. It suggests to me there that there will be specifically taking away how much damage reduction they get as a separate multiplier. So, if I grab a notepad, if I'm understanding this correctly, and this is what I'd assume they would do, yep, that's coming up on screen. So, currently, what we get is DR is equal to armor times armor reduction divided by armor times armor reduction plus 300. This is what it currently is. So if you have a 26% reduction in armor, it reduces the armor value, and then that creates a damage reduction from armor. What they might be changing is to instead make damage reduction is equal to armor over... Oops. Yeah, armor over armor plus 300, which is just how armor is figured out, and then multiplied by armor reduction. Is a way they may go about it instead. So, in this case, a 50% reduction in armor reduces the armor value by 50%, but it doesn't reduce the damage reduction directly. Instead, it changes how the formula runs through. Whereas this would say, okay, what is your damage reduction? Now we're going to make that reduction less. Do you see the difference? How they actually run that together remains to be seen. It could also be a very simple difference. This. They could do that instead. So instead of this being a multiplier to the amount of armor, they could say, okay, is your armor giving you 87% damage reduction? Cool. And then minus 30%, you're now on 57%. It could be that one too. Which would... Now, if they go with this approach, it would mean that on smaller amounts of armor, you don't need fewer procs to get to total damage reduction removal, which wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. Yeah. Is this only for corrosive? Might this apply to strip abilities? Esadel? I don't have a counter on the stream at the moment, but if I did, that'd be another in the we don't know counter. I did this... Did I do this last stream? Like, last dev stream? Was it last dev stream I ran a we don't know counter? Because I think it was. I should collab with Pablo? I feel like Pablo would hate me. Not gonna lie, I genuinely feel like Pablo would hate me after like 15 minutes of talking. I would end up being the reporter in the face of the police, demanding a statement on the situation and what they're actually doing about it. And in those 15 minutes, or even 5 minutes, like, can you stop asking questions now, please? I haven't figured out the answers. Or maybe they have and they just don't want to talk about them any further. Either which way, I don't know. Yeah. In the end, devs have to settle on one for each thing. Yeah, they have to figure out something. And we don't have the details to know what they're figuring. They're making changes, but we just don't know. So yeah, I do think Pablo would want to avoid me in such a circumstance. And I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him, because this is a very difficult topic to address, and ultimately, no matter what decision you end on, someone, somewhere is going to be upset. The real challenge is in finding a solution that generates the most fun for the game, the least issues for the development of the game, and then the least issues in the media space about the game. You want to balance keeping people sufficiently happy with the changes on paper as well as in practice. And my word. Yeah, Curb, yeah. Someone said, I dig the magnetic change, feels more interesting than merely +% damage to X. Except the suggestion I had about, you know, the nullification of abilities on enemies to make it similar to magnetic against players, to keep the theme of magnetic as disruption, but sure. I mean, you know. If armor changes, you might also need less strength to ability armor strip. Ability armor strips are all done by percent, so no. Like percent of armor. So unless they're changing how that works, it wouldn't change the amounts of strength needed to full strip, no. It would potentially change how much strength is needed to strip to any amount that is necessary of concern. Especially as they're changing partial strips. They're talking about partial strip changing, they're talking about changing the armor formula to be less bottom heavy. This is huge. We cannot overlook this phrase right here. Sorry, add in the other couple words. Reconfigure the armor formula to be less bottom heavy. Which comes right back to how this looks at the moment. Without any armor reduction stuff in there, just this armor equation right here. 300 armor gives damage reduction of 50%. If you get to 900 armor, you've tripled the armor value, so damage reduction is 75%. If you get to 2700 armor, so you've tripled the armor again, you're at 90%. But then we can have damage taken, which is a very relevant stat, 50%, 25%, and then only 10%. I think my numbers are right here. If they change magnetic to nullify that you want, would that affect the demolishers nullify? That'll be up to DE to choose, Ductile. Could certainly be an option if you choose to use magnetic rather than other options against the nullifiers. That could reduce the amount of threat you have as well, yeah. Yo! Welcome on in, everyone who's just come over from Nightmare Frame there. Welcome on in. Huge raid need. Thank you very much for that, Nightmare. Oh. Welcome on in. I imagine you guys had a lot of fun admiring the new skins, the new deluxe options you've got. But welcome on in. Let me do a quick shout out to Renos here. Shout out is 2 words, Ken. There we go. Shout and out. There we are. Will that work? I think I did it right. There we are. If you aren't already following Nightmare, you can certainly give them a check out. Absolutely. Although not right this second, but yeah. They're interesting. Howdy. Welcome on in. Nightmare. If you have an opinion to give, and you're welcome to say you ain't got one to give, but if you have an opinion to give on this, are you feeling positive, negative, concerned, neutral, excited? Looking at the status and armor stuff, what they're talking so far, what's your immediate vibe from it, Nightmare? As another in the content creation space of it all, someone so on the pulse of how these things work, where would you put yourself? And if you don't want to answer that, if you want to say, I abstain, go right ahead. Weird, no idea where they went that route. Nightmare, you and I are on the same page. You and I are on the same page. Yeah. It is nice that Glaive and Ember are finally coming back as well, yeah. So, as I've been talking with others just before you guys rolled in here, first of all, what I was just on is that they're saying they're going to reconfigure the armor formula to be less bottom heavy with regards to enemies. It's not going to change player armor, but it is going to change enemy armor. And it's like, well, this is the current setup and how it works there, and the armor just kind of scales on level. They don't really choose their armor scaling, it's just based on level. What direction are they going? What changes are they going to make? How is the armor reduction formula look? How is partial strip going to look? We don't have any of those details. They're just putting this anomalous, there are going to be changes to corrosive and partial strip and full strip and ability strip and armor maximums, and then that's the end of the section, which is just leaving me like, what? And also, they don't intend to keep the effective hit points, which on the one hand is positive, because I did say if they did bump up the health to match, then armor strip builds would just become terribly nerfed in comparison. But yeah, it's just, there's so many details here, and then no details on the details. So many headlines, so many blurbs, no stories. Low dimension beyond level 70, the scale will increase. Yeah, so that is a specific thing. Currently, the way it works in Warframe, Dalanor, is that once you get to roughly level 70 enemies, instead of it curving constantly upwards, it then flattens off-ish. In fact, let me bring up the wiki page for that, because that is important. Levels, scaling, Warframe. I did a whole video on this. You can check out the video for the full explanation, but let me show you very quickly what they mean by that. I'll look at the perfect graph right here. There you are. Enemy stat scaling for health, shield, and armor. You can see all three of them around this level. They have that curve, and then the curve suddenly goes, whoa, let's slow that down, shall we? Because otherwise it would get ridiculous. Now, all three of them taper off, but they still have that continuous line. And what it does is that for, let's see, do they have a section for EHP effect in general? I don't think they do. Well, you can kind of see here, yeah. You kind of see here on the graph with the Xmas one, in a 3D sense, that it kind of goes absolutely hog wild when the armor is taken into account as well. The slowdown at level 70 doesn't stop the fact that armor and health multiply their effect, and so it still goes absolutely insane. There is no disagreeing on that. Armor does become kind of ridiculous. And we're talking tens of thousands for typical units, and that is a lot of damage reduction. There is no getting around that, other than to remove the armor or bypass it in some other way. Absolutely. So I can understand that being an issue. I can fully understand that being an issue. I just wonder about the methods they're going to go around it. How much are they going to address at once? Did they remove the old inherent 75% damage reduction Xmas units had? I think so. I think so, yeah. Xmas instead just have like all of the stats dialed up. Pretty much. So that's what that whole mark about level 70 is that currently there is a change in the equation at level 70 to really slow down the hit point gain. Mostly this means that Corpus level 100 and level 200 don't feel all that different. But Grineer level 100 and 200 feel massively different still. They just do. They just do. Assuming no elementals have an 8 armor bypass anymore too. We're not clear on that. I think so, but we're not clear on that with regards to the changes they're making to elemental application to factions. Because they're moving away from it being on the skins, as they say, on the health types, the armor type, the shield type, to instead being per faction, per location. So if you go to, say, Mars, all the Grineer there, on all of their hit points, will be weak to X and Y. And if you go over to Mercury... No, that's also Grineer. If you go to Venus and fight the Corpus there, they'll all be weak to X and Y, both on shields and health, is what they said they're making changes to. Separate to all this as well. Can you patch notes? I can link you this. Yeah, let me just copy that. Send it here. Boop, that's where we're at. If armor scaling is capped, how will Grineer scale to level cap? Well, the scaling will be lower. The scaling will be more based on the hit points, the raw hit points. If you normally armor strip the Grineer to level cap, you'll actually notice them get stronger than they were before, because they'll be here a little bit more health scaling. They say slightly increase. The definition of slightly is hidden to us here. But they say slightly increase. So we'll have to see. What do I think about the Frost changes? They sound good. The Frost changes sound good. They sound like a nice revamp to Frost to really allow him to... This is going to sound like a pun. It wasn't meant to be. It just popped in my head, but let's run with it. To allow Frost to come into his element. Absolutely. I like the sound of the Frost stuff. Now, I want to go back on something here. For those of you raided in, especially Nightmare, I want to get your points on this. The magnetic and blast situation. I mean, gas, they're saying, doesn't need any touches. What? Okay, that... There are so many things wrong with that, but worse is the blast and magnetic. Why did we get an ad break right this second? I didn't even see that was coming. God damn it. Well, so those of you who can still hear me, to the 10 of you who can still hear me, we'll come back on this. We'll come back as soon as the ad's gone. As soon as the ad is gone, we'll sort of it. Those of you who are still here, thank you very much for supporting the channel, or being in a region that doesn't get adverts. Congratulations. To all the subscribers, whether you pay for it yourself or it's been gifted by Miralabe 104 times, thank you very much. I saw the ad break pop up and then it sends it out to you guys. There is a little bit of delay in it, but whatever. We're going to get through the ad break, and then I'll get on to this, because this is too serious to let an ad get in the way of it. Too serious. Miralabe. Miralabe, thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Nightmare Frame. Nightmare, make sure you thank Miralabe for that. You no longer have ads on this channel. Cheers indeed. Alright, we should be coming out of the ads now. We should be clear of that. It's only a minute section. People should be returning. My view count should now drop down again for the number of people no longer under an ad. So, my issues with Blast and Magnetic. Let's start with Blast. This one's an easy one for me to explain. My serious concern here is that there is the potential for Blast to turn everything AoE. I mean, that's literally what it's designed to do now. Everything that causes Blast status can create an AoE. What's more, we're missing all the details as to what kind of AoE. How big is the AoE going to be? What percentage of the damage is it going to deal? Is there going to be damage fall off? Is there going to be line of sight? What is this about reaching additional blast stacks? How long is the delay? Is it going to be a 1 second delay, or is it going to be a longer delay? If after a delay... Yo, Disfusional, thank you very much for raiding on in here. Welcome in. I'm just about to go into a major rant detail about Blast and Magnetic. I'll give you a proper thank you as soon as we are wrapped up on that. Let me really cement this. So, Blast is just kind of having this explosion-y thing. And yes, Nightmare, I do remember what you said about the radiation in Borderlands. Yeah. I have a few issues with this. One, there is the risk of turning everything AoE, or certainly turning a lot of things AoE that weren't AoE before. Two, it doesn't feel like a status effect. If you chill something with cold damage, it then becomes slow. because it's cold or frozen. If you hit it with a lot of heat and fire damage, it burns. If you hit it with magnetic, you disrupt its shields. If you hit it with corrosive, you melt its armor. The effect of the damage type is the status effect. But the effect of a blast, a shockwave, is to not then make the thing go, oh no, boom, and explode a second time. What? As someone pointed out earlier, you don't have a grenade go off next to you, and then you realise, oh no, I've just suddenly become a grenade! Bang! I know there's the opportunity costs on, but there's the potential for the absolute override, not just in damage type selection, but also in gameplay effect. My point of turning things AoE. There's opportunity cost, but if the reward of said opportunity of the cost is that great, there is a serious risk there. So there is a lot of details missing that we don't have to work on, but there is a lot of, hey, let's turn blast into everything is explosive. And then the potential double, triple scaling that can have with various effects as well. Like, for example, Toxic Lash or Zarta's Whisper, as we have seen with other explosive effects. And is this going to be replacing the accuracy debuff? Is Blast Proc going to wait a second, then explode, and then just linger there with an accuracy debuff, weirdly? As a blast from the past? It all just feels very weird. And far at risk. Either the blasts are going to be too weak to matter, or they have the potential to just create blast overwhelming. That becomes the new AoE meta. With the sheer problem we had not that long ago in terms of Warframe development, the sheer problem we had with the AoE meta, to create a whole AoE status of this potential just feels wild. Or they'll just make Electric 3.0. Which Electric's AoE kind of only really matters if you scoop enemies up into a bundle. So, like, what direction are we really going with this? Are we making Electric 3.0? Or are we making everything AoE? But then we have Magnetic. Firstly, Magnetic has received the thing I suggested for Blast. We have Viral, which is cold and toxin, to deal with health. We have Magnetic, which is cold and electric, to deal with shields. And then we have Blast, which is cold and heat, and I suggested that could be the Viral of Overguard. D have decided to put that on Magnetic, which is already odd. Magnetic has its bonus to shields, but now it's a bonus to shield and Overguard? Slightly odd, as they're two separate health classes, as it were. I do find that strange. Secondly, they then add on this on shield break, Magnetic is going to deal electric damage with an electric proc. We specifically, in the status rework a few years back, had gas go from dealing toxin damage with gas procs to gas damage with gas procs for the very logic of gas should gas. That was D's logic. And now we're having Magnetic does electric, but only on breaking shields. Specifically as a damage which I assume has to ignore the shield gate as well. Yeah. Did we have DE guess you have to stream? We don't. No, there's no DE guess here. Or at least no one's messaged. So this just feels like an odd choice on that side, and still I cast us back to last month, I think, whenever the last Devstream was. I suggested for Magnetic to instead capture what Magnetic does to us, because current Magnetic has one effect against enemies. It messes with their shields. That's it. That's all it does against enemies. Messes with their shields. With us, it messes with our shields, it disrupts our UI, and it disrupts our abilities by draining our energy. Now, we can't disrupt enemy UI, they don't have a UI, and accuracy is in the foray of Blast anyway. But they do have abilities. There are enemy abilities which can be silenced with Banshee's Silence, so we know they have abilities, we know those abilities can be disabled. And what I suggested last Devstream, and I put into the forum post, is that Magnetic could have a chance for those abilities to fail. Those abilities could fail, and then go on to cooldown. Just they tried to cast it, didn't work. They got disrupted. A nice analog to the whole draining energy system. Mirrorlade, thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Warframe themselves. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. They'll cash that at some point, if they're not already here. Cheers, Mirrorlade. Like Raven Destruction for proc. I was going with the whole ability thing because it then ties into what happens to us. To make Magnetic do the same thing. We have difficulty with our shields and abilities. Enemies have difficulty with their shields and abilities. Which would make Magnetic apply to every single faction. Granted, yes, this change to bonus damage to Overguard does that as well. But then leaving Blast to become the grenade option, which I still don't like. Silence violence before he silences us. Exactly, that is one of the things it would allow. You would apply that Magnetic, you get to 4 procs, so maybe he has a 1 in 4 chance, or whatever it would come to, that would stop his silence ability activating. He goes to activate it, and just maybe a shimmer effect happens around them to show your Magnetic worked. It stopped them. You just see a and their ability doesn't happen. And I'm going to say I like that. My idea to Magnetic was to be a slight grouping status effect. I've seen a lot of people suggest that as well, which is perfectly valid. I was looking at it from a perspective of what does Magnetic already do, and how could we keep that theme? That's what I was looking at, rather than making it a grouping thing, but the grouping one is also a perfectly valid option. To be honest, part of me just didn't want to keep saying the same thing everyone said. So that is the direction I went with. Magnetic is the disruption effect. How can it be disrupting to all enemies? Screw up their abilities. That's what made sense to me. There you are. Ray saying, again, I feel like the Magnetic change is a nerf to Eidolon Hunters. They were recently pushing 9x3 by having so much overguard they could face tank everything. Eidolon abilities deal mostly magnetic damage. That is a point. If you get the Magnetic proc, it will deal damage to Overguard. More damage to Overguard there, if it works that way on us as well, yeah. I don't know about the whole 9x3 and if people are even against that, but sure. I don't know, Nightmare. I'm not part of Eidolon stuff, so I'll leave you and Ray to consider how that even works. I don't know the details that are being suggested there. So if Ray's spouting something that's impossible, I'll leave you to take that up with him directly on that one. I genuinely do not know on the top Eidolon meta. Genuinely do not know. Okay. By pushing 9x3 you mean they didn't actually make it there. That's... Ray, I'm just going to say that's a bad choice of words. That is a bad choice of words. That's that's someone 5'10" saying they're nearly 6 foot. Straight up, if someone is doing a 3x8 or 8x3, however you want to phrase it, if someone is doing an 8x3 and say they're pushing 9, that's someone 5'10" saying they're nearly 6 foot. Sure, yeah, totes, yeah. You keep telling yourself that. Anyway. So, I do have my issues here with this, and a lot of the detail that we'd need to properly assess it is just not there. I get that that's because it's all work in progress, but we're seeing the shape of things to come, and the shape of things is that those details are going to be so damn crucial, and the shape of things looks a bit weird. Why is Magnetic needing to have all these weird extras thrown in that don't relate to what Magnetic already does? And why do we need to turn every weapon AoE in a blast variant? There's a delayed explosion that's not a status effect. That is an embedded grenade effect instead. It just feels completely off to me. It feels completely off. We'll have to see the details. And then there's the armor scaling, which there are so many moving parts here, we can barely begin to comment on it. With armor being capped, they are capping armor. They are the ones doing it. So just to say here, passive voice is actually kind of wrong. But with armor being capped at 2700, They want to make armor stripping feel less mandatory, which the less value there is to stripping, then that's just going to bring it down in general. I don't know. There's so many pieces to unpack here. How are they going to make partial strip more valuable to account for the fact that armor is down? How are they going to handle corrosive? What is the new armor formula going to be? We don't know. Does it sound like acid shells but with blast? In that there's an explosion, that's all. 123 space, that's the only detail. Heat build's going to be strong? Honestly, yeah. Unless, they might change heat. They might go, oh, wow, actually, yeah, because of the armor changes, heat's now only 20% rather than 50. They might do that in Nightmare. But you're very right. If they don't change anything like that, partial strip heat plus less armor in general, heat will get stronger. That is kind of wild, actually. I hadn't put those two details together. I'm really glad you said that. Wow, okay. Yeah. Alright, okay. Let's go on to the other bits I haven't actually looked at yet so far. Clarifying resistances. We've had some extra clarifications surrounding faction resistances so we can better explain other factions. Enemies such as Stalker, etc. will be neutral. Okay. So, the corrosive armor bypass on Acolytes is gone. That whole corrosive bypassing 75% of their armor and doing more damage, 75% more damage, is just gone. Okay. Corrupted, being a group of 3 combined factions, will have their own unified resistance. Makes sense. To clarify sub-factions, just the 3, Kuva, Amalgam, Deimos. Makes sense. Will their damage reduction be capped at 90% as well? It's very cool. Acolytes have a strange, extra different kind of damage reduction, but the armor cap at 90% most likely? One would expect, yeah. New players won't see certain faction resistances until a specific quest is completed. Similarly, this will apply to the sub-factions. I presume they mean like resistance to or weakness to things like Void. I guess. If they make islands neutral, I don't imagine they make islands neutral, but they have said Zanuka, which is a clear corpus one, would be neutral. We're gonna have to see on that. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. I don't know. Won't see the name of Murmur. Well, they shouldn't see Murmur anyway because they wouldn't have access to the nodes, but who knows. Acolytes have a white damage hard cap, damage attenuation, summon 8, DR 7 armor. Okay. I'll be honest, I've never looked into the exact mechanics of their damage capping because it just seems like there's so many weird moving parts in it. And I can't spawn them to test on. I just have to wait. So I've never really looked too deeply into how Acolytes function in their damage reduction. I've just kind of shot them on one, which would work for me. Crit, multi-shot, corrosive, hey, it's dead. That works. Moving on. That's how I've always done it. So, yo, Raptor, thank you very much for gifting a sub to the community here. That going out to Ryan Cordell. Raptor, cheers on that. Much appreciated. Okay, so with these other changes then, they're making changes to Frost and a few other abilities aside. Frost passive is now going to be, rather than the most useless, one of the most useless in the game, it's now going to give you armor based on nearby cold procs, as they described it, a defensive Ember passive. And honestly, that just sounds nice. I like that. It works with his setup. It's good. Am I British? Yes. Freeze updates adds the cold stacks to freeze. Makes sense. They made the AoE... Let's say area and range components of the projectile's baseline twice as large, and now scales with range, so that's going to be quite the area. That could be good. And duration was changed to freeze duration, but scales the same, purely to communicate how long Frost freezes targets easier. Duration was changed to freeze duration, but scales the same, purely to communicate how long Frost freezes targets easier. Oh, right, yeah. Cold state effects applied by Frost have increased duration of X%. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Dip Dap the Dapper saying, thank you for you guys. Been enjoying the game a lot more, even after 1,300 hours. My absolute pleasure on that. Glad you've been enjoying the guides. And welcome on in. Cheers indeed. Welcome. Arianda say, just know that any projectile weapon that does AoE can ignore the entirety of the air damage. Attenuation on the AoE part. Okay, fair enough. Can we apply 10 stacks of cold to freeze enemies with weapons now? That's what we're getting, yes. 10 stacks of cold will be full freeze, is what they're adding. I really didn't know that cold needed this many buffs. I've been using cold for a while now. Corrosive cold setups are actually really nice. But if they want to keep adding more, I guess. Alright. I guess. Ice Wave, change label to freeze duration. Sure, why not? Snow Globe applies a cold stack every X seconds with no limit. Curious, okay. No idea on the X seconds yet, but sure it's in there. Slow label is gone, makes sense. Instantly applies full cold stacks on cast if an enemy is within the globe. Makes sense because it was freezing them. And no longer blocks player projectiles from the outside anymore. Yes! I mean, yeah. We heard that in the dev stream, but that is a great thing. That was just... It just makes Frost so much more nice to play around. It's no longer going to get in the way of you just trying to play the game. So this is good. This is definitely good. These changes for Frost just feel good all the way across the board. I do not have a complaint so far of any of this. And then Avalanche, as required, cold stacks to freeze instead of simply freezing. Again, not a problem. Not a problem. I like this across the board. It's brilliant. Frost is already a good frame, but this makes it where even more of his abilities add into that good effect. He is overall just getting better. I cannot complain. And then the augments, applying cold stacks per second up to full freeze when anyone's standing on the trail. On full freeze, it continuously refreshes it. Nice. And Chilling Globe adds 10 cold procs if the condition is met. Cool. Yeah, I like those as well. I just like those. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Does this mean with the augmented new arcane you needs like 27% strength to strip? I don't know, Tom. Would have to check, double check, triple check, run the numbers. I don't know. I see people complaining about ads. Well, we're not going to wait for you this time. You know how to get around those. If you want to watch streams for free, you get ads. That's how it goes. Right, Atlas. All enemies caught in the cone are instantly turned to stone. Is this not how it was? But sure. Petrified enemies will have their damage type modifiers increased by a certain percent. On the changes they said about damage, vulnerability. Here, ensuring it works with the new system. Makes sense. Yeah. Reactive Storm will apply the correct resistance. Makes sense. Gauss, tapping Thermal Sunder during red line will now apply 10 cold status. Cool. Tapping Thermal Sunder will add 9 cold state effects on the second tap if it hits a target already affected by a cold status. I mean, basically that's just, again, reaching freeze through cold status. Makes sense. Just makes sense. Welcome back those of you who come back from the adverts. If you don't want to see them again, hit that subscribe button. Just FYI. Alright, everything in between. To give more room to depolarity, we're introducing 7 more depolarity weapon mods. We'll have a full list of these new mods with the Jade Shadows patch notes. Well, that's just a teaser. Alright. Welcome back, 123 Space. You don't want to have ads? You know what to do. Selling your dirty ball right now? Well, the good news is, there are other people paying for your ability to enjoy streams. That's what the ads are. That's the trade-off. The vast, vast majority of people, for example, watch my videos on YouTube with ads. And it gets paid for by the advertisers. That's how it works. Right. Vulpifire and Prototype mutagens as well. Mutagens provide resistance based on health types. Instead, these will be changed to specific resistances. Makes sense. Sure, why not? Yeah, simple stuff there, really. Interestingly, only basic elements and 2 slashes, puncture and impact. So IPs and basics, there's no combined element resistances, which, fair enough, whatever. Didn't they say they're making semi-auto exclusive mods? Yes, they did. And specifically semi-autos without auto or other alternative firing modes, yes. Okay. So, Overall, I'm looking at these suggestions of changes, these headlines of changes, and the lack of details overall, the blurbs to no story, and I don't know. Because we don't have the details, it's kind of hard for me to put together much of a thought beyond the possibilities of where it could go wrong, where it could have been, which also, by the way, this is why I don't usually spend any time on could be's, maybes, fanfics, because we end up getting pissed about what could have been. So, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at Magnetic and wondering why we needed to go down these weird routes. I'm looking at Gas and wondering in what universe is it supposedly so good already. I'm looking at Viral and going, okay, yep, you don't want to nerf it, fair enough. We're in the age of don't nerf, just buff. We're already doing it with Rivens, why not with Viral? I'm looking at Blast, and I am genuinely concerned about the development of a new AoE meta with that one. I'm looking at Armor, and there are so many moving parts at once there that I can't even begin to establish any kind of opinion on it. Yeah. Single target needs to help. It doesn't need to be, hey, let's make single target AoE. That's always been a concern. Is, oh, hey, you know how we make single target good? AoE. No. No, that's not how you make single target good. That's how you make single target not single target. That is not how you make it good. It's just... How would I do it then? A variety of different ways, which should get far too lengthy for a stream that is nearing its end when it comes to addressing single target versus multi-target. The biggest coming down to giving single target both objectives to shoot at, i.e. your heavy units, which AoE cannot appropriately handle. We have had the improvements overall to making single target headshots more viable, so that has been a significant improvement, whilst also reducing AoE headshots. Single target actually gets a lot of good work done now, but then also there is the mission objectives, the missions themselves, and how they target specific playstyles. And that is a huge topic in and of itself. That is a genuinely huge topic to address. The fact that the best XP you can get, the best loot you can get for a variety of bits and pieces is just to kill as much as possible, as quickly as possible. That is part of what makes single target less valid. But hey, that is an entirely separate topic to what we got here, other than, do we really need to add AoE to literally everything, aside from the areas we already have? I acknowledge that we already have electric and gas that technically can turn everything AoE, and we already see that outside of super grouping methods, that AoE doesn't really matter. Electric is on the board because of melee influence, which is a super AoE, which by the way just turns things AoE. Gas is usually only on the board for things which supergroup, like with Zephyr Tornadoes. I really don't know what they're reading into otherwise, especially as that gas doesn't get the benefit of heat and toxin mods. So this just feels weird to me. They claim that it's actually really powerful. Gas is extremely powerful is a sentence I did not expect to read. Well, an opener on anyone talking about gas. Reactive Storm is going to match the changes, Borfin. They did specify for Baruch on that. We're simply ensuring Reactive Storm will appropriately apply with the new faction resistance. So that is going to be considered. And I guess Dance Macabre should do the same. They didn't mention it, but I would assume they are aware that that exists. Or it might already do that. Yeah. So, yeah. As far as dev blogs go, this particular one has me a bit... I want to be positive, but I'm missing the details that make it positive, and I'm seeing the opportunities for it to not. So, trying to keep it neutral. That's all. But seriously not good with that. They mentioned the Bane mods, they're strictly about the DOT potential. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. I'm not aware as to what extremely powerful double dip they're on about, I'll be quite honest. I'm not sure on what they're seeing there. Maybe I've missed a detail with gas and it's actually, oh my god, amazing. Maybe I've missed something. Well, the good news is, as it's not changing, I've got plenty of time to look into it. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I will actually be checking and double checking the gas to make sure I'm not missing something. I don't think I am missing something, because if I was missing it, that means the entire community's either missed it or just been very fucking quiet about it. Is that the... Yeah. But anyway. We'll, yeah. Slash and heat. Well, all DOTs use, Banes. All of them do. All of them apply it a second time over. It's a part of DOTs from status effects. It's also part of acid shells, but that is a topic that I'll be covering next week anyway. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We will see, but the lack of details on something so detail-oriented, so close to release, with less than 3 weeks away, I just... We'll wait and see, I guess. I already gave my long essay on the changes, and the only part of my essay that could be considered to be included got moved over here instead of being on blast, but sure, why not? So it needs 2 weeks to probably know changes. I have no idea about how long cert takes, so I'll take your word on that for now. Can't say either way. They may have a special process, who knows. Yeah. Now, this is just the devlog. This is just the devlog. There were a lot of other changes announced. There is the fact they're putting in the diamonds in the Arsenal UI to show there are expanded items to look at. There is the linking of augments so you can see the augments that are available and where to get them. Love that. There is the copying of configs inside of the config modding window without having to use chat split over stuff, so that is great. The access of loadouts in navigation, like to be able to switch configs specifically for individual items in navigation, that is huge. Let's not ignore that, please. That is a big one. Is Soulframe going to be a Warframe, or is it going to be a new game? It's an entirely new game. Soulframe has nothing to do with Warframe, other than it's made by the same company. That's it. That's the entirety of it. What is the firing mode of a bow? Charge. New charge and release, so they're charge. But yeah, there's going to be semi-auto to full auto setting, just as a flat thing. Love that accessibility. That is a huge, huge detail. Like how people don't have an excuse not to use Bay mods. Oh, people always have an excuse for them. It's kind of crazy to me because damage types are such a big deal in how you deal with the game in general. And switching damage types is just as, if not more complicated than switching Banes. Yet people complain about Banes like it is the bane of their existence. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. People will just be like Queen here. Yeah. It is what it is. But there is a lot of good stuff coming in. The fast travel gear wheel added to things like Fortuna. That's just nice. Absolutely in favour of that. So when it comes to QLL changes, they've got a lot of good stuff. Ember Prime coming back. I'd like to be excited about that. More, I'm just disappointed it took this long. And I could see that they're scoping it to line up with the heirloom, but it's still just like, come on. It didn't need to take this long. Really didn't need to take this long. I have introduced someone to Warframe who has since got to legendary tier mastery ranks, completed all the quests, optimizing the top end of their stuff. I've got someone into Warframe in that time frame after Ember was last available. That shouldn't be a thing. That is insane to me. That is absolutely insane to me. But hey. She is rolling around. Ember's coming back. Glaive's coming back. Cool. About bloody time. And the heirloom stuff sounds interesting. I said I was going to run the numbers on that. I know we're over, but I did say I was going to run the numbers on that. Just, it felt odd at first, but on retrospection, I don't think it is that much. So let me see here. They said it was... Buy the pack for, what was it, like 25, 28, something amount? I think it was like 25. And that would be 475 plat and the stuff. $25. Okay. Now let's assume, is that 25 Canadian? Let's assume that's 25 Canadian, which in proper money, English pounds, in money I understand, that comes out to 1438. Oh, is that USD? Oh, never mind. Then it's going to be more on that. USD? Why is a Canadian company talking at USD? Ah, whatever. Okay, so it comes out to 1963, so just call it 20 quid. Let's call it 20 quid. So for 20 quid, let's see here. On the Warframe website, I can get for £14, 370 platinum, and then for £7, another 170. So for almost the same price there, I can get a total of 540 platinum. If I use a discount, I'll be able to get more than that. But that's assuming a discount. That's 540 platinum. Where are these notes posted? This thing that I'm looking at right here, the stuff about the element changes, it's this link there. There you go. So, without a discount, I could get in the range of about 500 odd platinum for the same as they're offering for this heirloom pack, which includes about that same amount of platinum. So it is close to, in the order of a 50% discount on that basis, in that you get the stuff and you get the plat. If you value the stuff in the plat at the same as the plat, boom. And D is because they're offering the pack for the same amount of platinum as they're offering in the pack, but just without the platinum in the pack. So 475 plat to buy the pack in-game rather than out-of-game. So, yeah, that's honestly very reasonable rates all round. Also just shows how much platinum I have. Damn, okay. But yeah, that sounds really nice. Discounts don't affect it? No, you wouldn't be able to spend a discount on it. I'm equating it to a discount because you just could buy platinum and then buy the pack. If you get a 75% plat discount, it'll probably be better to buy plat and then buy the pack with the plat. Yeah, I think that would actually be the case. Yeah, because with a 75% discount, I could get the 1000 plat setup for £8.25, buy the pack, and still have more platinum left over than would come in the pack. Okay, yeah. Well, that's something. That's definitely something. Alright. We'll take that as it is. We'll take that as it is. I'll be honest, I didn't follow much of the conversation around the heirloom debacle last year. I know a lot of people got upset about it. About the availability, the limited nature of it, the potential FOMO, yada 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 yada. As far as I could see, it was nigh on purely cosmetic, right? Basically a cosmetic setup. At which point I usually clock out. I'm not fashion, cosmetics and me. I go, oh, have I got a cosmetic? Yeah, I can use it. And if I haven't, oh, okay. That's me. I look at cosmetics and unless it's given to me, most of the time I ignore cosmetics. I am the worst in terms of marketing cosmetics and being marketed to by cosmetics. If a game is free to play and then pay for cosmetics, I'm playing for free. Honestly, that's me. So I missed off like 90% of the issue with the whole setup. There's Regal Ire 2. Regal Ire is basically cosmetics or quick access to primes that already existed. Speaking of cosmetics, what about Lavos? I mean, people already complain about how Lavos looks, and I enjoy the look of Lavos, so go figure. What do I know? I just stick to numbers. I can do numbers, alright? I can run the pluses and the minuses, occasionally get them mixed up. We ignore those moments. I can run the pluses and the minuses, I can do the divisions, I can do the powers, I can bring out the coupon collector problem in combinatorial mathematics and statistics. Easy peasy. I can handle that stuff. Fashion. I feel like not only is there no right answer, but every answer I come up with is either wrong or right for reasons I can't quite comprehend. Fashion to me is like trying to speak German. There are a few words in my own native tongue that sound very similar, and so I feel like I have the beginnings of an idea of what's happening. Next thing I know, someone's shouting at me in a tone that sounds angry, but it turns out they're happy and I don't get it. Fashion to me is like speaking German. Other people can do it perfectly fine, and I ain't got a bloody chance. But I pick up just enough to make a mistake. Yeah. I don't know what that says, and I'm going to have to remove it because I just said I don't speak German. We specifically can't moderate other languages here. Nothing against what you just said. I cannot moderate in German because I don't speak German. So please no German. Assuming that even was German. I'm guessing it was German, to be quite honest. I'm guessing. What about my damage number fashion? That's a good point. You're fixing that as well. Making it where I no longer have to turn off the damage numbers to be able to land headshots. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. It just said you did great. Fair enough then. Fair enough. Thank you. I still couldn't read it. The only person allowed to have other languages on this channel is me, because I can moderate myself. I know what I am saying, theoretically. But for everyone else, it's a no-go, unfortunately. Once the world comes about where the Tower of Babel is re-erected and we can all speak everyone's languages perfectly, then we'll be fine. Until then, people are asking for deletions and threats of timeouts. That's the way it goes. So Patrick, don't give me that face. You knew exactly what you were doing there. You knew exactly what you were doing there. And you probably just got hit with adverts as well. So, Square Bow with a hydrate. Cheers. This is why I'm allowed to speak British. I'll have you know I speak English. And it is those of you across the pond who decided to name your language English as well, despite the fact we don't use the same words. I speak English. What you guys come up with over there? Aluminum? Where's the other letters? You just cook them out. No French? No. French people are welcome. French language? Can't moderate it. No bueno. Better football as well. That you did. That you did. But it's fine. Football I don't really care about. I'll be quite honest. The fact that you've called hand egg football is weird. So, not so great. But hey, everyone has weird things. Everyone has weird things. Like we have our footpath, you have your sidewalk. We have our roads and our motorways, you have your highways and parkways. Sure. Travis, we're talking about everything, that's what. We're talking about everything. Anyway, what we are talking about is that I am actually overtime now. We are going to have to wrap it up. But that was certainly quite the dev stream. A lot of details, a lot of positive. It is pretty much just this workshop that has me going, Everything else in that dev stream either is cosmetics that I don't really mind, or good, or Soulframe. And then there's this. And this just has me going, is it a good or a bad? It's we need more detail because right now this doesn't look great. So I want to see more detail. Because let's put it this way, Sputnik. If you need to know whether or not this is good or bad, let me give you a very quick thing. Gas is extremely powerful, says DE. Yeah. So Patu's saying, love your stream, would sub, but you know, Latin economy. I'm assuming Latin America? Sub prices are reduced in countries with a lower overall economic output, so you may find that in your favor, but all the same, if you can't sub, don't sub, that's fine. I don't want you to sub if you can't afford to sub. We have people here who are members of this community who are living here in the UK just fine as well, just like myself, who can't afford to sub. And you know what I say to them as well? Don't sub. Pure and simple. You have a free watching option. Yes, it means adverts, and I know I don't like adverts either. I specifically will click off of Twitch half the time I get adverts. They just annoy me. I get it. On YouTube, I have YouTube Premium to avoid the adverts there, legitimately. I don't like using adblock where the adverts aren't a threat to my computer security. There are some websites that get adblocked because they're a threat to my computer security. But yeah. If you can't afford it, there is a free option. That is exactly why it's there. Anyway, that is, I think, everything we've got to say on this. We don't have time for anything else today, which is perfectly fine. We had a lot to talk about. We absolutely had a lot to talk about. So we're just going to wrap it up there, quite frankly. We are going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. I do hope you have enjoyed the dev stream and the after details. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, a wonderful start to June as well. And I'll catch you on Sunday for some more good old Warframe. We won't overly talk all these details again. We'll be enjoying everything good about Warframe as it currently stands. In the meantime, have yourselves a good weekend. Catch you next one. Bye-bye.